So handsome, oh you have your way, and it's making me weaken. You and your stardust, walking like that. It's really getting too much, but I can't pull back. Though I try to resist, I can't fight this. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire, and no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it better. How I try to sleep, but you're deep in my mind. Got a hold of me. When I'm awake, I'm all blind. You and your magic, like infinite power. God knows I try to resist, but you're pulling me closer. Oh, I gotta stay away, but you won't let me. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire. And no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it better.
One more wine, one more whiskey, and we just kept the car in park and dim the headlights so we see the stars. Let them tell us where we should start. And I'm scared as hell because there's no way to know how this goes. But I can't help but say I promise to give you my all. But it might break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. I won't let you down. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. The sight of you, it makes me dizzy. And when you're gone, I miss your face. Tonight I'll meet you in our favorite place. And just can't let this wait one more day. can't help but say, trusting why you are so beautiful. But it might break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. I won't lay you down. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. It might break me. It might break me.
I remember car rides, small fights, conversations all night. I never saw you as anything more than a friend, but now I see you in a new light. We're getting older. There's a sparkle in your eyes that wasn't there before. You give me butterflies. It makes me wonder if there could be something more. We were only kids when we first met. Now let's discover what we haven't yet. I don't wanna wonder what could have been. So baby, take my hand and let my love in.
Robot, but I'm not sure if they're even really necessarily gonna need it.
I'm sorry, did Winnie just go all the way? Okay. It goes off the map? Uh-oh. That's a big uh-oh moment. And Zonic said, oh,
Wow.
To block out a good amount of damage. Does not save the Symmetra as they have to overextend to find anybody. Having one of the enemies behind him is a bright side as you beat the 3. You can't let that happen.
Yeah, that is very true. But the rush is going to be on the menu today for game not given. He's looking for a slam, and they get one on the Captain Crash. Jam follows shortly thereafter, and Ace is proving to be just that, an ace for this CU side. My God, they got 4 kills, but the sound barrier and the Transcendence committed is not going to be enough to stymie.
Just don't feel too great going off of that 1v1 and getting sniped, and you're at 1. The Dragons there to clean up the rest of the fight as your team. You get to the choke without too much of a worry. You see Fed shields broken in. Molly, no, the Diva. Oh no, not the Mercy.
Connie has this multi-4 ready to go. Enough. Has the Knights as well, they're going to pop them. And with both these DPS ults online, there's not really much that Enzonix can do. And, you know, there's a great subreddit for that. It's called Watch Cloak Sombra Die.
Welcome everybody to the Overwatch Expanse playoffs. This is the bronze match coming up to you today. I am Toasty, going to be joined here by JuggerGod to bring you all of the coverage. Should be a banger of a match here, JuggerGod, I must say.
Yeah, I am certainly looking forward to it. I've heard great things about the playoffs so far, and both these teams have done very well. Not quite making it to the grand finals, but gonna be duking it out today for that 3rd place. So can't wait to see how they're gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. You always love to be on that top 3 podium. It always sucks falling just that little bit short, right? You've got the gold, silver, bronze medals, but then being 4th place is kind of... There's no medal for you there, so it's still all to play for here between these two teams, BMC and JumboSchreiner. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Sorry, any Germans in the chat. And speaking of JumboSchreiner, you know, they are, I think, kind of a surprise for OWEX here because, you know, they qualified in 2nd after Munich. Obviously in that Central Europe group, and obviously Munich are kind of the powerhouse. They have gone completely undefeated this entire tournament, so qualifying underneath them just barely is a massive accomplishment for JumboSchreiner.
It certainly is. And, you know, I wanted to call out to BMC, Beaumont Cohort. They are an Icelandic team, and I just think that is so cool that we've got a team that is primarily made up of Iceland. Maybe everybody, as a matter of fact. So lovely place to go visit. I had the fortunate opportunity to do that during my honeymoon. So looking forward to seeing what this Icelandic team can bring.
Yeah, and the key thing to note here, if you're looking at the rosters as well, Finzi and Happy-Cool. So these are two one ex-Contenders player, one ex-Overwatch League player. Obviously in that tank role, Finzi, I believe, I can't remember if it was Paris Eternal or Washington Justice, it was one of those two teams, but played in Overwatch League. And we actually had a statement from BMC saying that Happy-Cool and Finzi want to bring BMC to Contenders. So that is a bold statement coming out. So if they get the third place here, they're well on their way towards that.
Yeah, they certainly will be. Now, I just wanted to shout out to real quick, a quick thank you to my local host esports facility. I work there, and they have allowed me to come in early day to cast this match. My internet is down at home, so if you're all wondering what all these computer banks and things in the background are, that's what's going on. So I'm excited to be here today. But we are going to go ahead and get into this match, and I believe our very first map is going to be Oasis today.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be, I think, an interesting map to be looking at here. It brings a lot of variety, I think, in terms of what you can play. You know, maps like Nepal and Lijiang, you're very forced into these kind of close-range rush compositions. But Oasis, it's so open. There's so many different tactics to be playing here. And for two such high-level teams to be duking it out on this as a starting map, I think we're going to see some interesting stuff early on.
I think we will too, especially if we end up going to City Center. There's so much high ground there that dive, it feels like, a section of Watchpoint Gibraltar, perhaps, where dive is really almost required in that sub-map. But we could be headed there, we could be headed to Gardens, we could be headed to University. But we will find out momentarily what it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly, and we're getting into things here on Oasis. So this is going to be Garden we're starting off on. I reckon this is the one Oasis map you're going to see a lot of Winston play. The Wrecking Ball can't really get too much value close range here, and the Reinhardt, I think, just gets outmatched by pretty much every other comp that is played here.
Yeah, I think that's a very... very good analysis of what we're going to see come out here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a six-man dive as well. Getting control of that high ground right near the coast is going to be key. But you can also do that with a rush composition, although neither team, at least at the moment, is hovering over any kind of rush composition. Looks like it's going to be Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, so that's really interesting to be looking at here. So Kiwi on the Wrecking Ball. It's an alright pick here, I think, and have a call on it as well. I mean, that goes completely against my prediction of Winston play, but hey-ho, these teams know better than I do.
Well, we're going to see how this is going to work out for each of them. I imagine the high ground's still going to be fought over quite a bit, but both of these teams are going to be looking to really surround the other and try and find picks that way.
Yeah, it's all about the staging in the team fights as well. Can you get your Tracer and Ball into position? Can you construct that really powerful dive into the backline? The Zenyatta's, if the Brig isn't there to protect them, they're pretty much dead instantly. As there's the engage coming through from Kiwi, but they're going to get bursted down pretty soon. With that Discord, half HP, so is Ludwig. It looks like BMC just have so much more space to work with. They're going to get this point. There will be a Tracer there to contest, but not for long, as that'll be first cap going towards them.
Yeah, BMC did a great job of hacking out Ludwig right there, giving an opportunity for Happy-Cool and the rest of the team to kind of dive into the backline without having to worry about the defense matrix. Now that BMC has the point, they're starting to put a little more aggression on, but it's JumboSchreiner who draws first blood.
Yeah, exactly. Further are going to take out Born 6, so Zenyatta fragging out a little bit there, as that'll be the ball going down as well. JumboSchreiner look to be getting sent back to the spawn room, just massive kills coming through. This Cassidy will fall soon as well. Very tanky, but not quite enough to stay alive 1v6 there.
Yeah, that was an excellent job of BMC to kind of stabilize after that first pick came out on the Snorlax. When you have that Sombra go down early on in a fight, it's going to make it a lot harder to get into a composition like what JumboSchreiner is running. If you don't have that hack to really create opportunities, it becomes much more difficult, but they were able to do just that, especially after getting the pick on the Born-Sig. Now looking into this next fight, we've got three. Oh, Santic's already down and they have the Transcendence.
Yeah, Santix would love to have that back right now, but I mean, that doesn't even matter because Snorlax isn't going to invest the EMP into this team fight. They've already won it as Happy-Cool comes around the side, pinces onto the Cassidy, and gets the roll onto the Roadhog. So 70% and counting, and we're looking basically towards last fight territory here.
Yeah, that was an incredible showing from BMC. Taking Santix, taking her out of the fight early on. Really, they were the only one with an ultimate coming into that fight. And there's really only been 2 fights so far. BMC did a great job of, you know, drawing out these engagements. JumboSchreiner should have lost these a little bit quicker so they had more time to reset.
Yeah, there's the EMP that comes through. Santix, though, like we say, with the Transcendence, manages to keep everyone alive, but now BMC know how many ultimates they have online, and that'll be the rally getting popped by Jumbo to try and make that presence happen on this point. But still, BMC just pestering the backline. You see the ball and the Tracer there both fall, so kind of backfires in their face a little bit. As it is just, I think, cleanup coming through here from JumboSchreiner. There will be a little bit of extra stall from BMC, but not enough to really turn things around, and that break a bit out of position.
Yeah, they did JumboSchreiner there did a good job of taking that fight on the mega health pack and really punishing BMC for trying to go back there to get healed up. High Noon coming out from Scam, that's going to clear the point just a little.
They want to try and re-engage this, but, I mean, it's kind of working out. Crizzy manages to kill off Santix. It's just the whole hog coming through from Kiwi, and it does manage to catch Finzi off of the map, as that is also the Tracer getting a frag onto the break, and then second one coming through there from the opposing Tracer. That's Crizzy coming back, getting the kills. That should be BMC stabilizing. No one to touch here for JumboSchreiner.
No, they're not going to have a chance to do that. And BMC going up 100-30. That was a pretty convincing performance from BMC. I think, you know, there were a couple of big misplays there from JumboSchreiner. Number one, they let that first fight last too long. They should have, you know, once they lost the point, they should have been looking to end that engagement soon, regroup, and try again. The other big mistake I think that happened was towards the end in that last fight. JumboSchreiner had a couple of picks in their favor, but then it was Snorlax who came in huge, and Crizzy, the DPS duo, coming in and cleaning up the rest of JumboSchreiner, taking out kind of their core. And without their core, they weren't really able to mount much of a counterattack. But we're moving on now to City Center, so high ground once again going to be the name of the game here.
Yeah, the Wrecking Ball comps again, and I mean, you say high ground's the name of the game, BMC just completely disregarding it, and I think that's because of the difference here. You want that Hanzo up on the high ground, Scam can just fire down upon them. Crizzy just going to, I guess, do what they did last time, set up, stage those kind of engages, and that's how they're going to take the high ground, but they get taken down early on. That's Bornsick with the first frag. Snorlax has to translocate out as well, so BMC just basically sent packing already. Eagalari, half HP, can't quite protect the centers effectively now, and BMC just being forced ever backwards. They try and get that recontest, but Happy Cool just going to get bursted down before they can power drive, and that's JumboSchreiner coming up big on that first fight.
Yeah, with Crizzy going down very early in the fight, that meant that Snorlax was the only other DPS left for BMC, and that Sombra, especially in these early fights, they're going to be hacking health packs. They're going to be looking to just, you know, build ult percentage, and not really have, you know, a huge impact in the kill feed. So, not surprised JumboSchreiner went up early there. With Snorlax going down early in this fight as well, it's going to be the same story. JumboSchreiner is going to have gonna get a lot more capture percentage before BMC can regroup.
Yeah, JumboSchreiner, they're playing on this right side as well, which is so important. You get this Mega Pack control. It's a really nice place for the Brig to be playing alongside the Zen. So many good firing lines. And you have easy access to the point, so it's just brilliant positioning. You'll see the engage come through here, though, and Santa gets bursted down. That'll be Finzi with that kill. Bornsick, though, with the Pulse Bomb, comes in, catches the Zen. This could be a turnaround right now, but no, Happy Cool still comes through with the cleanup. Scam goes down, and it's just stall here for Kiwi on the point. That'll get flipped back over into BMC's favor, however.
Yeah, that was a crucial fight that BMC needed to win. The ult economy was a little bit favoring JumboSchreiner at the beginning of it, but now BMC has turned it around. They've got this EMP, they've got the minefield ready to go. Those two, while not, you know, a typical pairing that you see, can be very, very powerful, but it's going to be tough to find value with this, considering JumboSchreiner's running, you know, this mirror composition practically. Nobody's really going to be grouped up on JumboSchreiner. They're going to have to, like, really pay attention to these opportunities.
Big Pulse Bomb coming through there from Crizzy, though, fragging out onto 3 players early on. Tracer hitting Bornsick. And that's a very fast engage. BMC, I think, needed only 1 or 2, no, 2 ultimates had to be used. I mean, that is a really good team fight.
Yeah, it certainly was. Happy Cool dropped that minefield on the high ground as well, zoning out anybody from JumboSchreiner who might have wanted to go up there. And that kind of corralled the members of JumboSchreiner as well to allow Grizzy the opportunity to just tear through them. BMC still in a little bit of control in terms of the ult economy as well. They're getting ready to equalize the capture percentage on JumboSchreiner. It's going to be about equal, even if JumboSchreiner comes away with the fight win here.
The crucial thing here as well is the EMP Snorlax. That's way better than Scam's ultimate of the Dragon Strike, so you'll see an early kill there onto Kiwi. Again, I mean, is the EMP even necessary at this point? The ball's gone down, there's no clear engage to be had. As there's a Dragon Strike though, that's going to tear through into the support line, forces them away, and that's Bornsick going down. So I think JumboSchreiner again just falls short a little bit. A Dragon Strike was not as impactful as it could have been.
No, it certainly wasn't. Unfortunate there for JumboSchreiner, especially with Kiwi going down early. Like you said, that main engagement tool is down. And now that we're entering last fight territory, the ult economy is looking very, very similar for both sides. This pulse bomb from Grizzy not going to find anything, but the EMP is still online.
Yeah, there's the EMP bomb coming through, but Kiwi gets hit by a car, I'm assuming that is. As this will just be the cleanup coming through from BMC, I think. Fothark does go down with that Transcendence in hand, so maybe it's turnable for JumboSchreiner, but with Santix going down, there's no Discord, no target focus to be had in this team fight, and BMC just stabilize. They look to be taking this first map pretty easily. Kiwi does return, but a little bit too late after being hit by the car previously. And that's the first map over to BMC, so I think that's about what we expected, right? The XL ex-contenders players, I mean, just too powerful.
Yeah, that's just a little too much to handle there for JumboSchreiner, at least on this first map. Grizzy did an excellent job as well during this game. They did lose out on this very first duel, but oh yeah, here's that minefield to pulse bomb that we saw earlier. And just how it shut off any movement that, you know, JumboSchreiner could have made over towards jump pad and really corralled them into that area. So excellent play there from the tank as well, Kiwi. Or sorry, that was Holly.
That was half a goal, I think.
Half a goal, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, a little bit of a ball diff there, you know. Love to see it. And like you say, I think those mines were the critical part of that. It's easy to disregard that in the Tracer play, but brilliant stuff coming through there. We do actually have as well a comparison between the Zenyatas, because these are players also we didn't quite, I guess, recognize much during the match, but they put in the work. I mean, look at this. Santix, half the healing done of Fothark, and pretty much the same can be said for damage as well. A good bit more there for Fothark, because they were staying alive more. They were getting more damage in. They were getting more discords in, and really the positioning I think was a little bit better for Fothark as well. They were dying less.
Yeah, they certainly were. You know, those offensive assists and defensive assists as well. You know, that just means, you know, seeing that difference there, I think really shows that the orb management coming out from Futhark was a little bit more impactful as well. And that's, you know, reflected as well in the healing done and damage done. You know, you're going to see that Discord orb and that healing orb come into play in those stats as well. So Futhark doing just a tremendous job on the Zenyatta so far.
Yeah, exactly. Again, like we say, it's not something we quite recognize during the game because you're not seeing these Zenyatas making, you know, massive 5k plays or whatever. We didn't even have any in that first map, but like we say, we were focusing a lot on the Tracers and the balls because they're the ones getting in doing the engages, but without the Zen there, without the Discords, those Tracer ball dives aren't going to get too much value. So really high respect to the Zens for staying alive, mostly Fothark, and obviously putting in the damage as well.
Yeah, you know, I've always found that relationship between the Wrecking Ball and the Zenyatta to be so fascinating because these two heroes in this particular composition are have to work very closely together. You know, the Wrecking Ball needs to know where these discords are so that they can plan the appropriate dive. And I just find it fascinating that, like, literally the most mobile hero in the game has to work so closely with, I think, the least mobile character in the game. I know there's others that are, you know, not as mobile, but they at least have tools in their tool belt to help, you know, dissuade a dive or something. Zenyatta, not really at all. So it's just a fascinating relationship, and I'd love to see it come into play.
Yeah, I mean, especially at higher levels, right? You're going to see
Yes.
that Zen and Ball relationship just come really to fruition, and we saw it there. We might see it on Blizzard World too, which is our next map. So it is a decent Ball map. It is also decent for a good chunk of other compositions, but I think judging what we saw by Oasis there, we didn't see University, so we don't know whether these teams will ever play Brawl. But Brawl is possible, so we don't want to rule it out.
It certainly is. You know, this Blizzard World, especially this first point, has such a long, you know, sight line on first point that a Brawl composition has a tough time getting to the point without, you know, taking too much chip damage. And once the Brawl composition gets to point, they have, you know, a much easier job. But it's that intervening space, and if you can play one of these ball compositions really well, then you can really prevent the Brawl from even getting a chance to step on foot to point. So, like you said, I think we're going to see ball compositions coming out here, at least on defense, probably on offense as well.
Yeah, BMC obviously locking that immediately on the offense. We don't know if they'll switch it, but they probably won't. And JumboSchreiner again putting Scam onto the Hanzo. I don't like this. I see the idea. You want to play around the high grounds. You want to, you know, spam them out from far and see if you can get these extra pickoffs onto Fodark. But Scam was just never doing that. You weren't getting these early teamfight pickoffs because these are high-level players. They're not going to misposition themselves like plat players would. They're not going to stand in the open against a Hanzo. They do know how to play against Hanzos. And there's Snorlax with the Sombra. Again, that Sombra versus Hanzo matchup very often favors a Sombra.
It certainly does. And, you know, the other interesting piece of this puzzle is Crizzy on the Symmetra. I'm curious to see if they're going to swap out of it after TP. Yeah, they did. Okay, cool. Going over to the Tracer makes so much more sense, especially with the Wrecking Ball. You know, and BMC's going to have an easier, or Crizzy's going to have an easier time with this, because not only, you know, do they have the Wrecking Ball half equal with them, but Snorlax can help them out as well on the approach.
Yeah, if you hack the enemy Tracer or if you hack the Brig, there's pretty much no way that Zen is ever staying alive, so that should help out with the engagers quite a bit. JumboSchreiner have to play super defensively here, though, because that Hanzo really wants to make use of these tough chokes, these sight lines, and you'll see them rotate back here just to account for that. And this is going to be the engage now from the Tracer in the backline. Crizzy, though, discorded up, forced away, and Scam our first kill onto Fodark. So like we say, I mean, that's what you need to be doing as the Hanzo here, getting those first kills. There's a second one coming through, and it just ends the teamfight immediately. Instead of having to, you know, go for a hard engage and get a kill that way, you just let your Hanzo do all the work, and that's where it really comes to fruition.
Yeah, that was excellent play there coming out from Scam. Like you said before, we hadn't really seen them showing up in the kill feed too much. But here on Blizzard World, they're having a lot more success, and I think part of it has to do with these very long sight lines. You know, despite these players, you know, being such a high level and understanding how to position, still on Blizzard World, you're going to find yourself out in the open at some point, and Scam really took advantage of that.
Yeah, and this is what just happened there to Bornstick is what I'm talking about with the Sombra. You're able to just make space by hacking up the enemy Tracer. They can't engage on you when you're rotating, and there's the kill, though, from Scam again onto Snorlax, starting to really come into their own on this map. Santix does go down, so perhaps the defense might be struggling a little bit. Kiwi and Bornstick solo, so is Scam. Everyone just at risk of dying right now on JumboSchreiner, and there we have it. Half equal just going in and out with the roll-throughs and the pile drivers. And that'll be the mines coming through from Kiwi, but nothing really gained off of that. Scam appears to be AFK in spawn there, probably considering a swap, but this will be BMC capping up the first point.
Yeah, that was some excellent play there from BMC, especially when Half Equal found Scam down near the coast and was able to get that pile driver kill onto them, taking out that huge damage dealer, really opened things up for BMC to be able to push onto point and to start to get the picks they needed to. Once those storm arrows, once that storm bow really was out of commission, things really opened up.
Yeah. And Snorlax here looking to, I guess, poke and prod in the backline. You want to build up this EMP and see if you can catch Santix with it. Or kill him off early. But there's the hack onto Kiwi. That is pretty big. It allows for a rotation to come through here from BMC, but they don't actually follow up on it. They're just waiting to use the payload for cover, I assume. They have this bomb. Pinsy's going to yeet it up to the high ground there. And that'll actually catch out the Brig. So Scam and Brig OTP going down. This will be BMC probably just driving their advantage forward. The Fodark does go down, but I think you're fine with that sacrifice.
Yeah, especially after Santix is picked off as well. Right after using that Transcendence too, that's a pretty big value there coming out from BMC to, you know, not have that Transcendence to worry about in the next fight. They will have to look out for the rally, but Egalari has theirs as well, so they should be able to counter it. In fact, JumboSchreiner coming out with 5 ultimates. Here comes the EMP.
Ooh, that is a big EMP. It catches 5 for BMC, and there will be a recontest here from JumboSchreiner. They do manage to take out the Tracer, but nothing gained off of that bomb from Ludwig, just for zoning, I think. As there's the mines coming through from both Wrecking Balls, actually, kind of skewing the team fight all over the place, as there will be Hafikul falling, but the mines, the aftermath, just doing so much work. Bornsick as well doing a lot of work. The Tracer getting 2 frags off here. Ludwig demeched and killed off by Finzi's bomb. This should be BMC now driving their advantage forward and getting that cap.
Yeah, excellent cap there coming out from BMC. You know, both minefields going out really does make things confusing on the card. Happy Fools just happen to be positioned a little bit better to find value right there. And both teams expended all of their ultimates in that last fight, but BMC coming away with the win. That's got to sting for JumboSchreiner, is they're just going to have this Pulse Bomb for this next fight, and it's going to have to be big if they're going to hope to win it. But Boothart doesn't have their Transcendence online yet. There's no rally either, so this could have some significant impact.
Oh, this is terrifying for Bornsick, though. They almost got hacked up by Snorlax and forced away from their position. They are still trying to contest this high ground. There's a pulse bomb into the backline, though, from Crizzy. Gets eaten up by Ludwig. Great game sense there. Great awareness to realize that Tracer was going for that play. And now Bornsick has the opportunity to go for one. They hit it into the back. Doesn't actually kill anyone off, though. Instead, it's Finzi with 2 kills, immediately decimating the backline. And that'll just be a team fight going to BMC.
Yeah, that was incredible play coming out there from Finzi, who just swapped over to the Sigma. It's going to be up to Kiwi now to try and stall out, but with a hack coming in, it's not going to last long.
Yeah, and that's where the Sombra really comes into her own on these stall fights, because you can just hack up any of the respawners. You have this EMP coming up pretty soon as well, and Santic is forced to use the Transcendence. Scam, though, with 2 kills. Eaglari is going to go down as well as Crizzy. There's the EMP, and the Flux should deal a lot of damage, but Bornsick is back. They take out Hafikul. They're going into the backline. They take out Floodlark as well. Bornsick clutching up right now for JumboSchreiner, stabilizing on the defense.
Yeah, excellent play coming out there from the Tracer player. They've already got the Pulse Bomb built up as well. They're going to throw it out there, but not going to find anything this time around, but they're going to be able to build it up really quickly. That is, unless Snorlax has something to say about it.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to matter too much here, though. I think Snorlax... I don't think anyone else is in position to really follow up on that. The Tracer can get back pretty quickly. It will be the Hammond running through, though. Happycool trying to get some value out of this engage. Snorlax and Crizzy go down, however, so no DPS line, no win, I think. But at least you did force out the enemy rally. That is something.
Yeah, that is a big win there for JumboSchreiner, especially getting this stall here at the 11th hour on this point. Getting 2 fight wins here right before the point is captured is huge. They burn out a significant amount of time. Over a minute now has been taken off the clock, and that's big because BMC just had such an incredible push all the way up to this point.
Yep. And Kiwi here, I mean, they have this defensive position where they can just hold the corner, they can protect Santix and the Brig, and it's just a great position to be in. BMC, they don't know how to really approach. They're going to start now. So that'll be Finzi making a bit of space, and a 1-for-1 DPS trade. The Cassidy's gone. That removes some of the stability you'd like to have right now for JumboSchreiner, and there's those mines in the back. Happy Cool taking out Kiwi with that. There will be the nuke coming through there from Ludwig, but nothing gained off of it. Crizzy in the back with the Pulse Bomb as well, just zones some players off. It's the Tracer that tries to touch here off Bornsick, and Santix comes through with the Trance. Snorlax doesn't have the EMP, so I guess you can get away with that, and there's a Dragon Strike. It'll zone some players off, but is it enough? As BMC, they're 0.09 meters away, and it is all just last-minute stall from JumboSchreiner. They won't be able to make this one work, and BMC should come through with a follow-up. Scam goes down, and there's no clutch potential to be had.
Excellent plays coming out there from BMC. They do have to just finish up these last few staggers, but it's not going to last long. They finished with 14 seconds on the clock, and while they were able to capture this 3rd point, JumboSchreiner just did an amazing job of stalling them out and preventing them from having too much time on the clock. Now JumboSchreiner has a pretty good goal line to work towards. 13 seconds isn't over, isn't a staggering amount of time to finish with. So this is very, very doable for JumboSchreiner. And after the kind of play that we saw in third point, if they can replicate that through this rest of the map on their attack, they could be looking at a pretty good situation.
Yeah, and I think the reason why BMC didn't have the greatest time bank there was obviously JumboSchreiner coming up big at that 2-minute 30 mark and clutching it up in that team fight, if you remember. Bornsick just going crazy on the Tracer, but it was also BMC playing a bit slow on the second point as well. They did manage to take it, but I think you'll notice as well, you would have noticed as well, the rotations were quite slow from them. They were gradually taking the high ground instead of going for these hard and fast engages. And I think that's kind of how they should be playing here. But obviously there, it kind of ended up destroying their time bank a little bit.
Yeah, it certainly did. I think this Finzi swap onto the Sigma as well did them a lot of good, especially on third point where you need a little bit more card presence, right? Yeah. And while that Diva's good, it isn't necessarily the best for providing that. You know, Diva really, I think, is much better at just tapping cart and then moving away, but you really need that presence when you're moving into third point.
I'm not sure about this Sigma Diva.
Yeah, that's fascinating coming out from JumboSchreiner. It's going to be interesting to push on the point with. You're not going to have that hard engage that you really want to. You're going to be missing that without a Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, is the idea here just put Bornsick in the backline as a distraction and let Scam do their work on the Hanzo? Because they do have a very good high ground presence. I mean, Ludwig can contest those high grounds, Kiwi can hold the high grounds, and you've got Scam up there to just spam in the shots. BMC, look, their positioning's being forced. This is a 5-head strategy from JumboSchreiner, but unfortunately for them, Crizzy comes in the backline, one clips the brig, and Fudlark manages to follow up on the power drive there, killing off Scam, killing off Kiwi. Here's a Zen coming into their own, really. And that's BMC just stabilizing on the defense. I think JumboSchreiner need more aggressive presence.
Yeah, I really think they do as well. You know, what was interesting to see there, too, is how much value Futhark was getting on that Zenyatta. You know, without that... without that distraction, distracting presence of the Wrecking Ball on the Zen, without that pressure, and it really only coming from the Tracer, who can only stay in the backline for a short period of time before having to recall out, Futhark was just able to get tremendous value. I mean, look, they've already got their Transcendence versus Santix. She's only 60% of the way there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we saw it last map as well, a bit of a Zen diff, but that'll be a great kill onto Crizzy. Nice flick shot from Kiwi to make that one happen. Landing the shots. And Snorlax just pestering in the back line. In fact, Hathicle's going over to help as well, but is that a bit of a mistake? Now they're kind of segmented out of the fight, being distracted by the Tracer. Quite low HP as well. Over on the point, though, there will be the Transcendence coming through from Futhark, so they're trying to keep their team in things. This will be Hathicle returning as well into the fray. But Futhark goes down, so does Eaglari. Scam coming up big on the Hanzo. Again, it's just random pop-off potential that comes through and wins you these team fights. Crazy does try and clutch up, but I think 1 kill versus 3 is not going to go great for you. Bornsick, though? Question mark.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. There is a little bit of a stall coming in. Yeah, a little bit of a stall coming in from BMC, but it's not going to be too much. JumboSchreiner did have to spend a lot to win that fight, but they come out of this with a very good time, and, you know, they're making this Sigma Diva work. You know, like you said, it's a 5-hit play here. Maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah.
It's certainly causing BMC, I think, a little bit of trouble that they weren't expecting. I think they need to... You know, maybe Hathicle needs to play a little bit more to try and disrupt Kiwi.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, because right now it just seems like all the presence is over on JumboSchreiner's side. The Diva, the Sigma, they're both great at peeling, and Scam and Bornsick, they can just rampage.
Yeah, that's true. They certainly can. Especially Scam. You know, they've already built up this Dragon Strike. This could be pretty impactful if they can find a nice place to put it. But
look at how
BMC isn't going to be grouped up. They are kind of grouped up now, though. This would be a great opportunity for Scam to throw it in. And
yeah, there's a Dragon Strike that cuts through the staircase, but nothing gained. Instead, it's the bomb from Ludwig that catches out Finzi. There's the Sigma gone, and you're just losing your high ground presence. Again, Kiwi can control all of that. And you notice as well, earlier in that team fight, they were all forced back into third point pretty much because the Rally plus the Sigma plus the Diva, you can't contest the high ground.
Yeah, you know, Scam is doing such an amazing job of holding down these long sidelines, like you said. BMC just hasn't had a chance to really stall out Cart hardly at all. And I think there was a bit of a misplay for BMC as well. They're not surrounding JumboSchreiner like they need to. JumboSchreiner has this much more static composition. BMC needs to be looking for multiple angles, but they're staying stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, and you could argue it's harder on defense, but I mean, you know, that's like the flat argument. These are 4K players, right? I mean, should be able to get into position pretty easily.
Yeah, they really should. This is very interesting.
That's a nice power drive and roll through from Hafikul, just absolutely disrupting Santix, fearing for their life right now. Vornsick, though, around the sideline, looking for the pulse bomb. They are going to get stunned up, but Rico's just in time, avoiding the embarrassing Twitch clip. As this will be the transcendence from Fudark now to start going aggressive, and this is where BMC can really make their comp work because they've got the Sigma holding down these angles. They're starting to push up Finzi, so much damage coming through, and there's a follow-up from Crizzy as well. They'll get a stagger off onto Ludwig, that's great.
Yeah, that is nice right there. That's several more seconds off the clock, but I mean, look at this time bank that JumboSchreiner has. 3 minutes right now, pushing into third point. They can take their time here a little bit. They can take their time to now build up some of these ultimates that they just expended. They might not come away with a fight win this time, but certainly next time they're going to be looking good.
Yeah, I mean, this is just... You just can't win that fight if you JumboSchreiner. No. There's only one choke you can walk through, and it's going to get EMP'd.
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what happened right there. And beautiful EMP coming in from Snorlax. They didn't really have to spend hardly anything else to win that fight. But now, look at the ult bank for JumboSchreiner. That's what they needed to do.
Hafikul was in the backline there dueling Vornsick, I think, but now it'll be JumboSchreiner taking the presence because they know the ball's all the way in the back. As there's that Gravitic Flux coming through, Kiwi looking to land it onto a support target. Do catch the enemy Sigma, I think, but Finzi just retaliating with a Flux of their own. There's a Pulse Bomb, though. Comes through from Vornsick, blocked up by the shield. Great stuff from Eagalari, and Scam and Vornsick going to go down. No more DPS to be had for JumboSchreiner. This will be BMC stabilizing.
Yeah, excellent work right there. You know, winning that fight early.
I like this
lots of utility expended as well from JumboSchreiner, and now we're going to see kind of a wholesale swap coming over in their lineup. Vornsick going over to the Cassidy now. Instead of that Tracer, and now, yeah, like you said, Zarya Diva. This is odd.
This is like what you see in my plat comp games. This is not a composition. I mean, I guess it could work out. Santix frags out onto Snorlax, takes him down early. There's an EMP removed. I guess that would have come an issue later on. As there's a bomb that's going to catch Hafikul. They engage at just the wrong time, but Finzi and Fudark doing all the damage. The Zen and the Sigma. There's so much spam that can come from them that they get the kills through and they force JumboSchreiner back. That's why you play a shield hero.
Yeah, this is very curious. You know, I was wondering if maybe we were going to see like a grab bomb come in from Kiwi and Ludwig, but that wasn't the case. Ludwig threw it out there right at the beginning of that fight. Snorlax has this EMP going into this next fight, and BMC, I think, has a really good chance of winning this one, as the only thing that JumboSchreiner has is this Dragon Strike. They're not going to have the grab built up in time.
Finzi, though, has to be super careful, but there's a Dragon Strike and the EMP. The EMP lands onto 6. In fact, BMC looking to aggress onto that. Ludwig segmented off, and that's Finzi managing to land the final blow onto them. The Hypersphere is just too much damage to be contending with. And this will be the final kill onto Scam. 10 seconds remaining, and it'll probably have to be a stall swap from JumboSchreiner.
Yeah, this is, you know, Ludwig already going over to the Wrecking Ball to try and stall things out.
Aggression!
Yeah, look at how far forward now Finzi is pushing. Getting several members with that Gravitic Flux. Now we've got
this is inspirational!
This yeah.
Oh my word, and I mean, hey, it works out. I mean, Finzi distracts for long enough that no one else can really touch. I mean, the Doomfist all the way back in their own spawn, essentially, and it is literally just Ludwig trying to contest this, but they're body blocked up by the Brig, and that's BMC taking the second map. You know, it was looking shaky for them on their offense, but the defense was so good, and you can attribute that to the compositional difference, I think, a little bit there, Juggle God.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I think that was a little bit of a comp difference coming out there. You know, I do want to give credit though to JumboSchreiner, because that Sigma Diva, was it Sigma Diva composition at first? Yeah, it was the Sigma Diva composition on attack. It worked. It worked better than I was expecting. I think better than either of us were. But it really fell apart there on third point when they decided to go for a double off-tank look again. And while I think, that can work, and it did work for those first 2 points, you just need so much more of a frontline presence when you move into third point on Blizzard World, and really any third point for a payload map.
Yeah, precisely. And also something I was mentioning towards the start of the map as well was the Sombra play, because Snorlax here, we're going to get the stats coming up, was absolutely tearing things up compared to the Hanzo. Sure, the Hanzo was doing a bit of work here and there and getting these odd picks off, but, I mean, those are just some really good Sombra stats.
Yeah, they really are. 14 offensive assists, that's great. Those are going to be either hacks or, damage coming in to help with a pick. 35 elims, that's really good too, especially considering we only had 2 rounds. So great play there from the Sombra. And yeah, maybe if they'd had the Sombra instead of the Hanzo for JumboSchreiner, we would have seen a different story. There were just several very curious compositional picks coming out from JumboSchreiner.
Yeah, that's our takeaway from the first half here, as we will be going to a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes later to bring you the potential conclusions of the series or the start of a reverse sweep. We don't know. We'll be seeing you in a few minutes to find that out.
The scuffle, maybe a final opportune moment to where the Tracer 1v1 is going to be punished, falling off the map, even getting the melee. At least that goes to your full spot, full charge. Now your scrim. Just barely make it out in the fight on the point. No recall. You're absolutely
about like 100% better most of the time. Still waiting on this nano. I mean, not ideal.
So let's take a second to look at the Tracer statistics, though. There is a significant amount of time difference, but 18 eliminations, 8k damage, 6 ultimates used. That is a lot. That's 3 mines, maybe on both attack and defense. Playing for 11 minutes and 5 seconds ability to 15, you're equal, if not better than Habit. And I think that's not only showing a different play style, but a different understanding of how you're wanting to play that Diva. Hatu still being able to get in that consistent damage. Look at the final blows per 10, 8.1 more than Habit. Darn it, stay up.
Rally because they know that it's coming at some point here.
But look, the bomb is what makes the difference, Booty. It's the bomb.
Rocket shots. Now everybody's kind of out, separated.
Welcome back, everybody, to the European Overwatch Expanse tournament. This is going to be, well, what we think is going to be the conclusion to this series between BMC and JumboSchreiner. BMC are 2-0 up right now, and they're looking to take that third map. It's going to be Hanamura. What are you thinking about this one, Jugglegod?
Hanamura is a very interesting choice. It says to me that they want to get BMC off of this Wrecking Ball composition, right?
Yeah.
Because so far, in the mirror matchup and in the matchup with the curious comps, we'll say, from JumboSchreiner, BMC has come away victorious. And I think that they need to really try and get them off this and onto something that's going to work a little bit better for them. And Hanamura, it's Brawl and Hanamura. It's just about as classic as Brawl and King's Row. Not as loved, but just about as classic.
Yeah, I mean, it tails all this time. And to be fair, I mean, I think this is a decent map pick, I think, because obviously it does kind of stop BMC playing this ball composition as much. You can still run it, but it's not going to be as easy to run because Hanamura has this one specific main choke that you're pushing through on first point, and second point is a little bit, more variety in terms of where the ball can go and that kind of stuff. You've got that left side flank up on coast, and you can, do some funny stuff over there, but as a general idea, if the defenders set up high ground, you're not going to be able to make much work on the offense with that Wrecking Ball composition. So I do think this is probably one of the best map picks that JumboSchreiner could have chosen.
Yeah, I think it's a really good choice here. I'm gonna be curious to see if they're gonna go opt with a sim teleporter strat as well. It's so powerful here on Hanamura that I feel like you almost have to go for it at least the first time out of the gates.
Yeah, and something as well you want to note here is that Kiwi has been subbed out for Who Am I on JumboSchreiner side. So they are looking to make some changes. They are looking to try and maybe swap up their composition for this map. Maybe we won't see the double off tank this time.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we'll see that again. But it's gonna be JumboSchreiner on defense first. So BMC, I'll be curious to see if they are going to run out with this wrecking ball, because it's a little bit more viable, I think, on attack than it is on defense. Defense second point though, wrecking ball can be very good. It looks like they are going to opt for this double off tank composition again for JumboSchreiner. Who am I gonna stick with the D.Va? So yeah, it's curious. You know, we thought with the player swap, we would maybe get an hero swap as well, but that doesn't appear to be the case. The backline looking very different, though.
Yeah, so I think they've kind of realized that Santix is going to die first a lot in these kind of team fights if they're playing the Zen. So you're going to play the BAP instead, get the immortalities through, and actually be able to hold down those high ground positions a bit more effectively. BMC looking to surround, you just immortality it, easy.
Yeah, exactly. Santix, you know, it's interesting with Ludwig on the Sigma. If Ludwig was on an Orisa, this composition would almost look normal, I think. But, you know, I think Santix is going to opt to really kind of pocket Ludwig on that front line.
Yep, there's a Tracer duel. Gonna go in the favor of JumboSchreiner, I think. Crizzy going down so low. They do get taken down eventually. Bornsick chases him down. That's a very good start for JumboSchreiner, actually. As Scam around the outside almost takes out the Sombra. Snorlax can't quite do much against that. And the Wrecking Ball forced away. There's 2 kills to be had here now for JumboSchreiner, and they can probably go a bit more aggressive up to the spawn room if they want to, but it looks like Bornsick's the only one to do that.
Yeah, so far so good for this Frankenstein composition that we have coming out here from JumboSchreiner. It looks like BMC is going to take a page out of their book, though, and Happyful is going to go over to this Roadhog. So that signals to me they're looking for this one-pick potential and maybe to try and displace Ludwig with a hook.
Another Tracer duel again here, though, and Crizzy could lose this one out for the second time, as they are just being forced backwards and backwards. They are going to make their way over to the point, but that is Santix getting a long-range kill off onto them, so very good start. And even though Who Am I has been demacked, I think JumboSchreiner should be able to keep their presence because of Ludwig's Sigma here. So much tank presence, and DMC just can't get through this choke against the Pharah. They managed to, just barely, but the Brig almost goes down in the process. This will be Santix finally falling, and now BMC can start using this chance to go aggressive. They'll get the kills through. This will be the first point going to them.
Yeah, Happy Cool getting a couple of big hooks and picks right there. Really going to open things up for BMC. You know, I thought that they were going to have to wait for Snorlax EMP, but they're able to get 2 point and get this capture started without having to utilize that. Now they're going to have this EMP for second point. That could be really devastating with a self-destruct from Finzi.
Yeah, if Finzi can, like, what is it with these teams and playing double off tank, right? I mean, this is, if Finzi can get this bomb online, sure, this could be really good in terms of like comboing with Snorlax's EMP. But what does Happy Cool do here with the ultimate, right? I mean, that is just inspirational. Crizzy goes down, so we won't have to worry about that just yet. We can wait for Happy Cool's ult. And yeah, this will be JumboSchreiner stabilizing a bit.
Yeah, Crizzy's going to have a much harder time now that Bornsick has swapped over to that Cassidy. It's going to be very difficult to find a pulse bomb in the backline. They're going to have to avoid that flashbang coming out. So I'm going to look to, you know, potentially Finzi or somebody else to try and bait that cooldown so that Crizzy can get in there with a pulse bomb. But here comes a rally to start things off for BMC.
Yeah, and the point pressure is here, but there's the EMP coming through. Snorlax catches 3, and that includes Scam. So that'll be the kills coming through as Happy Cool follows up on that. They've used that whole hog. I'm not sure when they used it, but probably got some value out of it. Pulse bomb into the back, doesn't catch too much there for Crizzy. And instead it's going to be Who Am I coming through with the bomb. That catches onto the Tracer. Ludwig's Gravitic Flux also got a kill, so I think there should be JumboSchreiner coming back and getting some kills. But Finzi just going mad right now, 2 kills. And that will be Bornsick with that right click, so bringing back the old classic. And that should be the stabilization on the defense. It's just Finzi alive.
Yeah, and it really started off the back of that Gravitic Flux from Ludwig. Once they were able to get that first pick on the BMC, that meant that JumboSchreiner was able to start trading out picks. And with the spawn advantage in favor of JumboSchreiner, they were just able to outlast BMC. All they needed to do was get counter picks, and that's exactly what they did. We saw the fight swing one way and then the other a few times, but overall, the spawn advantage just too much to overcome. And now there's not really any ultimates on the side of BMC for this next push.
Yeah, I was about to say, 2CP kind of puts you in the situation where you're not going to have many ultimates after one of those long fights, because both sides want to win it out. As that'll be Happy-Cool actually getting the first kill off onto Season 23 Brig OTP, who is not on Brig. And this will be Happy-Cool now running down the staircase, looking to diff the enemy Roadhog. There's a Discord onto them. As High Noon, though, will force some players back, and Bornsick gaining some space for their team with it. Scam still goes down, and there's that Discord into the back onto the Sigma. Crizzy there with the follow-up. They are traded out, but it's not enough. As JumboSchreiner, they fall short there just in that last fight. And that'll be a BMC coming through with a 2-minute 30 time bank, just about.
That's a very healthy time bank, too, going into Hanamura. They weren't able to, snowball that first fight win into a second one, but that's because, they didn't get the very first fight win on first point. JumboSchreiner was able to build up a few ultimates and start to put up a defense, but, that last fight was interesting because it started out relatively slow for BMC. They got a pick early on. I forget into who for JumboSchreiner, but there was a significant gap between that first pick and that second pick. It was long enough, in fact, for JumboSchreiner to have their player respawn and rejoin the fight. But BMC just played it patient and were able to get those picks in rapid succession afterwards to capture that point. JumboSchreiner gonna have a tough time pushing through this. BMC has shown that they have a solid defense. I am anticipating JumboSchreiner getting to second point, but I don't know if they're going to be able to break through it, as we saw BMC just stall them out so hard on that third point on Blizzard World. I'm expecting that same thing to happen here, and with JumboSchreiner's back against the wall, this could be their final stand.
This is frying my brain. Roadhog Diva again. So they're starting off on Roadhog Diva. They're not swapping it for adaptation or anything. They're playing Roadhog Diva, and on the opposing side you've got Moira Zen. What is this? End of season comp? Like.
Right? I am not entirely sure either. This is interesting. It's like both teams have just thrown the book out the window at this point, and they're just playing. Maybe they're just playing comfort picks. I'm not sure. Happy-Cool goes down very early, though, so JumboSchreiner has a huge opportunity here to push in.
Yeah, I mean, if these are comfort picks, I did not know Happy-Cool was a hog main, but to each their own, I suppose. JumboSchreiner are at least getting into position a little bit. They're rotating through because they know the Wrecking Ball is gone, and they're looking to get this point presence. Finzi around the backside has to try and probably go for a remet kill, if I'm honest. They are being forced away a little bit by Who Am I, but that distraction allows Ludwig and Santix to go down. What an engage there from Happy-Cool and Crizzy coming through with a clutch. That'll be BMC somehow regaining control of the point after they kill off Who Am I and Bornsick, of course.
Yeah, Who Am I is actually going to get the kill, though, initially. Happy-Cool is there to finish them off. The res comes out on a Futhark as well, so amazing stabilization coming off from BMC. They did such a good job of recognizing that they were down that Roadhog in that first fight and that they needed to regroup and wait for Happy-Cool to come back. The swap onto Wrecking Ball, I think, was clutch as well. I mean, we saw the environmental kill come on to Santix, as well as, I think, Ludwig. Ludwig appears to have just stepped off the point, but now there's another big push coming in from JumboSchreiner, and Snorlax is down.
Yeah, again, that's just the fact that Happy-Cool was out of the team fight. Whenever that ball is not there, it seems like BMC is just losing these team fights. For context as well, because I don't think we saw it, Happy-Cool was dueling the Tracer in their own spawn room. So that was why they were out of the fight.
Yeah, now JumboSchreiner has a very healthy time bank going into second point. They did have to expend a few ultimates, so BMC is going to be looking a little bit healthier. They're going to have this they're going to have the Valk online, which I think can provide so much staying power. And that Nano Boost, if they need to commit it, potentially to this Bob.
Yep, Bob into the main choke. Well, not main choke, top left choke, but it's the main one for these purposes. And that gives time as well for BMC to really get into position. It was going to be a bit of a snowball, but that's some time bought. Finzi still gets demacked, however, a little bit too aggressive. Bornsick punished for some aggression, however. And Snorlax actually coming through for a good few kills. They cancel the High Noon with that shot. do finally get taken down by Ludwig, but again, these trades are always better for the defenders because you're gonna get these immediate spawns coming through. Who am I with this whole hog? Sitting duck, honestly, to be shot down, and Santix just a little bit too late with the Transcendence. They might be able to get a couple of kills off this, but no, it is just the aggression from Finzi, diving onto Zen in the back. The Brig can't do a thing about it, and BMC are back in control.
Yeah, that was phenomenal work coming out there from BMC. And JumboSchreiner, I honestly think they made a couple of mistakes there in terms of their timing. Like you said, they used that whole hog, and it wasn't timed with the Transcendence. I think it really needed to be right there, because when a hog pops that ultimate, they are, like you said, a sitting duck. Yeah, they've got a lot of damage coming out and a lot of CC, but they can't defend themselves at all. And
the Widowmaker, though, getting a kill off early, so does the Roadhog, so... I mean, JumboSchreiner, they've got a very easy into this team fight. This will be Bornsix trying to snipe out the enemy Zenyatta in the spawn room. They take them down. Santix taking out their opposing number as well on that Mercy. But Bornsix here is doing most of the work. That's just the Widowmaker diff coming through here. In fact, not even a diff, it's just a hit scan diff. As that'll be 3 kills for them. Looking to accrue some more as well. It is only a tick gained here, though, so BMC can come through for recontest. This will be Crizzy dueling out against the Brig. Can they stay alive? They have to touch the point. That'll be the bomb coming through onto it. That'll be the pulse bomb as well. That almost takes out the Cassidy. In fact, that'll be finished off by Futhark, and there's no one here on the point. So BMC, they've regained control with a 3-for-3 trade. Futhark manages to make that team fight work because of those last 2 picks. And, I mean, wow, that was a clutch play, honestly, from BMC.
Yeah, that really was. I didn't think they were going to have it. And what was, so challenging about that for BMC, or rather, for BMC, is the fact that Bornsix was on that Widow. Like we saw, they got 3 to 4 picks in that very first engagement. And BMC had to come up with a way to not only maintain point presence, but to also try and neutralize Bornsix. And I think Happy Cool going over with that Wrecking Ball was the answer, but they had to get that point presence first, which they were able to do. So kudos to them. And now JumboSchreiner going to have less of a time bank, even if they are able to cap it.
Yeah, that'll force some players back. But BMC look to try and re-engage. That's the power drive coming through, but that's immediately bursted down. Bornsix has such a creative angle here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Can't even be touched by the enemy Widowmaker. And that'll be Santix popping off in that team fight, getting all the follow-up. And JumboSchreiner, they don't cap with a great time bank, but they cap with a time bank, which I think is great for Hanamura.
Yeah, it really is. They needed that win desperately. And this is once again very doable now for JumboSchreiner. Neither team was able to get first point capped on their first push. So this is definitely an opportunity for JumboSchreiner to come back in this. And they're going to be, let's see here, they're going to be on attack first. So they're going to have the opportunity to kind of set the goalpost here. And I wonder if BMC is going to come out with Happy Cool on that hog again, or if they just go, no, they're just going to go straight for this Wrecking Ball. I think this is a better look for them.
Yeah, Happy Cool, respectfully, I don't think your Roadhog is as inspirational as your Wrecking Ball is. Especially alongside Finzi on the Diva, right? That double off tank.
Right.
Not usually able to get much done. And JumboSchreiner here, they're the ones playing double off tank instead. There is a shield tank there, so I think I can let it slide. The Hog Sigma is an absolute classic.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, I want to take a moment to actually talk about this JumboSchreiner name. Apparently, I've been curious about this, but apparently JumboSchreiner is a TV reporter in Germany who's most known for traveling around and eating a lot of food. So it sounds like it's maybe a meme pick for the name, but I love getting a little bit of history behind these names. Now, this is JumboSchreiner's last opportunity here. They need to get a tick on this point. Otherwise, we could be headed to draw tomorrow.
Yeah, and that would not be great for BMC. Would kill that momentum, really. As that'll be the immediate DMech onto Finzi, but Scam does get felled in the backline. That's a 1 clip from Snorlax on the Sombra, I think with the help of the Zen as well. And JumboSchreiner, they don't really have a way to make progress. They are going to walk towards the point being given free space. Happy Cool going to get hooked up in the midst of that power drive, but the hack onto the Roadhog is actually pretty big because they can't heal themselves up. The Take a Breather can't be used, and that'll be the follow-up coming through. They get killed off. and Ludwig is the next to fall. Everyone else should, you know, as a domino effect, go down as well. That being said, Scam comes through with a clutch few kills, actually, and Santix in the backline, DMX Finzi. It appears that JumboSchreiner might have an opportunity to win out this team fight. The ball and the Tracer are here, and it is just a Tracer tool, but Bornsik bailed out by their Wrecking Ball. But Bornsik, oh, they get taken down finally by Happy Cool there, and there should be a recontest because Crizzy can get back. They have the pulse bomb. This could take down a support pretty easily if they stay alive and build it up in time. But that is the question, can they do that? They get the pulse bomb through, but it's not stuck onto anyone, and instead they get taken down. This should be the cap coming through.
It certainly should. The spawn's definitely in favor of JumboSchreiner, but a big EMP comes in, catches 4 members of JumboSchreiner. Perhaps BMC can come back in this.
Wait, that's actually pretty big, but there is this high noon from Scam that could zone some people off, but no, it doesn't buy any space or time, in fact, as Snorlax gets 2 kills off to try and make this team fight theirs. Both Transcendences used, so it's just going to be helpless poking and prodding at each other until those are over, but now it goes in the favor of BMC. They get the follow-up through. Finzi is right there with the boosters into their faces, and that should just be the stabilization on the defense. There was a tick gained, so we're not going to see the draw, but BMC had no business winning that.
No, they certainly didn't. That was all in JumboSchreiner's favor. The recontest coming out from BMC was absolutely devastating for JumboSchreiner. You know, I think Happy Cool really has to be complimented as well on their Wrecking Ball play. Getting that pick, I believe it was onto Bornsick, really, I think, opened things up for BMC to just come back in and take control of this point. The dueling Transcendences as well, I thought it was going to go in the favor of Santix. I thought that once she popped that on point, it would give JumboSchreiner enough time to regroup, but they just didn't have quite the cohesive team play that BMC had on that last engagement. So with that, 65.4% on the board for JumboSchreiner. That's the number now that BMC needs to beat. They're going to have about 3 opportunities to do that, and JumboSchreiner finally coming out with what it's a normal looking composition here.
Yeah, normal's relative, because we do have Bap Anna and Cassidy Hanzo, which isn't what you usually see with a brawl composition, but it could work. They look to be hiding in the room here. Actually, look at this.
Yeah, that's interesting. They're going to look for a very aggressive play here. Going to try and shut down this push before it even starts, but this
they're just going to TP to point.
Quite risky. Oh, no. Yeah, that is a big misplay, I think, from JumboSchreiner, especially with 2 players going down early on.
Yeah, they're now fragmented all over the place, and can they even contest the point, rather? And no, they can't. No one can get there in time, and that will just be BMC taking the series with a very anticlimactic ending. JumboSchreiner heavily misplayed that, but congrats to BMC for getting that 3rd place. JumboSchreiner, unfortunately, not getting a medal this time around, but they put up a valiant fight, an inspirational fight, we'll call it.
Yes, they did. You know, I think it was good to see them. It was refreshing to see them go on to a more meta composition for that final fight, but they still did something a little bit wacky, and unfortunately, they paid the price there at the end. You know, that charge coming out onto the Mei from the main tank. Sure, it stalled out the Mei, kept them from TPing the point early on, but the fact of the matter is everybody else got there and just took the point right out from under their feet. So, like you said, a little bit anticlimactic end, but this has been this was a very fascinating series to watch.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, you know, from the teams that are this high tier, you wouldn't expect to be seeing Hog Diva every day, right? I mean, that's pretty interesting as far as you know, a 3rd place game goes. You know, with kind of these stakes on the line. I'm not sure if there is a prize pool for 3rd place. Who knows? But we do actually, you know, have now BMC as our 3rd place team, so they managed to win that out. They were the ones actually playing the Hog Diva as well, which is the weirdest part about it. And to be fair, I mean, I think Hafikul swapping back onto the ball was what won him that map, to be honest. Like, Hafikul's ball was insane this series.
Yeah, it really was. That brief stint onto the Roadhog, while it was fascinating, didn't yield the results that they wanted. And, you know, Wrecking Ball's just been so powerful for so long now that you really kind of have to play it as much as you possibly can. We've got some stats for Bornsick on Widowmaker. That was such a great play on that second point. It was really what gave them, I think, that second point capture. And maybe if we'd seen a little bit more play like this, I mean, look at that, 50% weapon accuracy, scoped crit at 32, 6 final blows. I mean, all of those happened just about in one fight.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting all those kills in one fight, and I think there's 3 other eliminations, or I think it might have been 5 final blows and then 1 final blow in, like, another team fight, but either way, Bornsick did a lot of work in that one team fight, and somehow they still didn't win it. That just, I think, speaks volumes for how BMC was dealing with these kind of threats that was being put up by JumboSchreiner.
Yeah. Well, Toasty, I think that's going to just about do it for us for this matchup. We've got a couple of other casters coming in. I believe it's going to be Joker and User Intel to take you through the grand finals coming up next. Yeah, the GOATs. Gotta love them. It's going to be a very exciting one to see. Maybe we'll get a little bit more User Intel Chipmunk today. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. For those of you who watched yesterday, you'll know what I'm talking about. And the others, go back and watch the cast yesterday from User Intel and Chef Billy. Very exciting game. Very good cast as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got an intermission coming up before the next game. I believe that happens in just about an hour. So, hey, use the intermission, go watch that VOD from yesterday, and go see User Chipmunk Intel. We'll hand it away for now, and we'll have that hour intermission. So, thank you, of course, for having us on the OWEX channel to our brilliant production crew. And thank you, JogoGod, for joining me on this pretty inspirational match as well.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you viewers will be seeing User Intel and Joker's Ransom in just about an hour, so see you there.
The scuffle, maybe a final opportune moment to where the Tracer 1v1 is going to be punished, falling off the map, even getting the melee. At least that goes to your full spot, full charge. Now your scrim. Just barely make it out in the fight on the point. No recall, you're absolutely
up like 100% better most of the time. Still waiting on this nano. I mean, you know. Not ideal.
So let's take a second to look at the Tracer statistics, though. There is a significant amount of time difference, but 18 eliminations, 8k damage, 6 ultimates used. That is a lot. That's three mines, maybe on both attack and defense. Playing for 11 minutes and 5 seconds compared to 15, you're equal, if not better than Habit. And I think that's not only showing a different play style, but a different understanding of how you're wanting to play that Eva. Hatu still being able to get in that consistent damage. Look at the final blows per 10, 8.1 more than Habit. Now going back on the point, darn it, stay up.
Rally because they know that it's coming at some point here.
But look, the bomb is what makes the difference, Booty. It's the bomb.
Rocket shots. Now everybody's kind of out, separated.
We're young and free. So let's go back to the beaches where I always make you laugh. To the forest where we found a hidden path. To the summertime of 2005. When we were still alive. When we were still alive. There you go again, looking so handsome. Oh, you have your way, and it's making me weaken. You and your stardust, walking like that. It's really getting too much, but I can't pull back. Though I try to resist, I can't fight this. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire. And no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it better. How I try to sleep, but you're deep in my mind. Got a hold of me. When I'm awake, I'm all blind. You and your magic, like infinite power. God knows I try to resist, but you're pulling me closer. Oh, I gotta stay away, but you won't let me. No one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire. And no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it better. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire. And no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it Oh, no one does it
One more wine, one more whiskey, and we just kept the car in park and dim the headlights so we see the stars. Let them tell us where we should start. And I'm scared as hell because there's no way to know how this goes. But I can't help but say I promise to give you my all. But it might break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. I won't let you down. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. The sight of you, it makes me dizzy. And when you're gone, I miss your face. Tonight I'll meet you in our favorite place. And just can't let this wait one more day.
when we were 15. When we were 15, I remember car rides, small fights, conversations all night. I never saw you as anything more than a friend, but now I see you in a new light. We're getting older, there's a sparkle in your eyes that wasn't there before. You give me butterflies, it makes me wonder if there could be something more. We were only kids when we first met. Now let's discover what we haven't yet. I don't wanna wonder what could have been. So baby, take my hand and let my love in. When we were 15, I remember car rides, conversations all night. When we were 15.
Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. I'm running your way, but you push me away. Your lifeline, losing your mind. I'm here for you, babe. I've loved you the same this whole time. So tell me, what's on your mind? And I'm not here to hear you say you're fine. I can take the pain you hold inside. I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your grip tonight? Can't get this off my mind. Does it only control you? Let me in, I'll help you out. I won't lose you this time. Can I feel your grip tonight? Can I feel your grip tonight? You think you're too far, but I'm where you are, you know. I said I won't leave your side. They left you bare, but I'm begging you, stare in my eyes. For Yeah, I live my life. And I'm not here to hear you say you're fine. I can take the pain you hold inside. I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your kryptonite? Can't get this off my mind. Does it only control you? Let me in, I'll help you out. I won't lose you this time. Can I feel your kryptonite? Can I feel your kryptonite? I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your kryptonite? I'm here to hear you say you're fine. I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your kryptonite? Can't get this off my mind. Does it own you, control you? Let me in, I'll help you out. I won't lose you this time.
Heart overhead, and I guess love to watch the way you made me into a mess. Hands on my dress, neon red. You were everything I didn't need until you left. Now I'm dancing around my living room. I get drunk on the thought of you and I, when you were mine. See your eyes in every stranger. I replay the way that we were till I'm high. No, it's not right. I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. I miss you kissing me like you used to, like only you do. You know the good things are never as good as the bad, and your love is better than anything I've ever had. Oh, I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. I know you're gone, and you probably just forgot me. Yeah, you're moving on. There you go again, looking so handsome. Oh, you have your way, and it's making me weaken. You and your stardust, walking like that. It's really getting too much, but I can't pull back. Though I try to resist, I can't fight this. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire. And no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it better. How I try to sleep, but you're deep in my mind. Got a hold of me. When I'm awake, I'm all blind. You and your magic, like infinite power. God knows I try to resist, but you're pulling me closer. Oh, I gotta stay away, but you won't let me. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire. And no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it better. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire. No one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it Oh, no one does it
One more wine, one more whiskey, and we just kept the car in park and dim the headlights so we see the stars. Let them tell us where we should start. And I'm scared as hell because there's no way to know how this goes. But I can't help but say I promise to give you my all. But it might break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. I won't let you down. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. The sight of you, it makes me dizzy. And when you're gone, I miss your face. Tonight I'll meet you in our favorite place. And just can't let this wait one more day.
I remember car rides, small fights, conversations all night. I never saw you as anything more than a friend, but now I see you in a new light. We're getting older. There's a sparkle in your eyes that wasn't there before. You give me butterflies. It makes me wonder if there could be something more. We were only kids when we first met. Now let's discover what we haven't yet. I don't wanna wonder what could have been. So baby, take my hand and let my love in. When we were 15, I remember car rides, conversations all night. When we were 15.
In the scuffle, maybe a final opportune moment to where the Tracer 1v1 is going to be punished, falling off the map, even getting the melee. At least that goes to your full spot, full charge. Now your scrim. Just barely make it out in the fight on the point. No recall. You're absolutely
About like 100% better most of the time. Still waiting on this nano. I mean, you know,
and the port that's absolutely the place come in, and well, it's done what you thought it would. Absolutely nothing, and that's an unfortunate matter. We'll remember.
Not
Yeah,
ideal.
so let's take a second to look at the Tracer statistics, though. There is a significant amount of time difference, but 18 eliminations, 8k damage, 6 ultimates used. That is a lot. That's three mines, maybe on both attack and defense. Playing for 11 minutes and 5 seconds really to 15, you're equal, if not better than have it. And I think that's not only showing a different play style, but a different understanding of how you're wanting to play that Eva. Hatu still being able to get in that consistent damage. Look at the final blows per 10, 8.1 more than have it. Darn it, stay up.
rally because they know that it's coming at some point here.
But look, the bomb is what makes the difference, Booty. It's the bomb.
Rocket shots. Now everybody's kind of out, separated. Welcome back, everyone. This is now the grand finals of OWEX. I am your play-by-play caster, Joker's Ransom. I'm here with username _Intel. We've got an amazing matchup for you today. Munich Esports versus Eurospar.
These two teams have gone through the gutter. Munich Esports, more of all, has been one of the most dominant teams of this season. I've got to say, Eurospar, they have gone the lengths first and back to make sure that they can reach the finals. And now, in a best of 4, we're going to have to see who will go on top. Joker, I don't know if you know this, but I mean, just yesterday, Munich Esports, they went up against a team that had Finzi absolutely crushed it. So, we're going back onto the map where it started it all from them yesterday. What map would that be? Well, it's going over to Control. And when it goes to Control, we all know that we go straight over to Lijiang Tower, one of the most favorite control points of all. However, Eurospar, they have not shown any weaknesses. Well, any major weaknesses. They've shown adaptability, Joker. They've shown the readiness to fight. And I gotta be honest with you, I am absolutely excited to see how both of these teams work out.
Well, yeah, this is going to be a really hard task for Eurospar here, as we're gonna go into it's not Finzy's not on Munich Esports, but I don't believe so, at least.
No, Finzy's not. Different team that they had beat yesterday, but
yeah. So I'm looking at the rosters, but I don't think that's the that's the correct roster that I was seeing. It was all messed up for me, but now we got the correct rosters on the screen. We've got a big name here, user Alex2704, the off tank for Falcon Esports EU, a very amazing Overwatch contenders team that won 3 back-to-back contenders titles in EU, and with that on your team alone, that is just incredible.
I mean, I'll definitely give you that. I feel Alex has been one of the really consistent and strong players, but, their counterpartner, Pure Irish, has just continuously shown up when it's come to these series, has always been a name in the casting booth, especially when it comes down to how they're using their mobility, how they're using the Sigma Flux, the Diva Eats, and it's been one of those big moments. However, then we go back to Munich Esports, Love, Lutu, they've been big show-offs when it comes to these series, and I think seeing them go off on each other, it is going to be extremely close.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of Pure Irish, another contenders player as well, and was on Team Ireland back in 2019 for the Overwatch World Cup. So, we have a lot of star-studded players on this roster from both of these teams. It'll be really interesting to see how these teams get underway and get going into the first match, or first map of the evening.
I definitely feel that this first map is going to heavily, and I mean heavily, impact the rest of the series. As much as you could say that the first map is going to be that warm-up, these teams have had more than enough time to prepare, more than enough practice, and this is Munich Esports' own favorite map. This is their home turf as well. They're going to be having a lot of compositions that heavily favor their play style, which is high aggression. They very much like to work together, use compositions that rely on these quick and fast quick and fast are the same thing, but high calm level, meaning that they are making sure whatever they are saying is quick and efficient. Focus fire is there, and of all the points to start on, you had to go on the one that was best in their favor. Look at this, we're here out on Gardens. I've got to say, Munich Esports, they often run not a 6-man, but they seem to favor the Wrecking Ball style composition much more comparably to Eurospar, which have always gotten a little bit mixed here and there, but it does seem that they do want to walk out on this. The mirror will be quite interesting because they have very significant differences that change the style of the composition. Obviously, with the Sombra, you have that hacks, you have the ability to go in, but the counterplay goes into Munich Esports using the Pharah as a quick burst damage type character, which can catch anybody off, especially Nut or GCB. It's going to cause for careful play styles. We'll see. The start of the match is now.
Yeah, and they're going to be starting things off. That quick Symmetra teleporter to get better positioning, as we're going to be seeing two Tracers coming out battling each other. But it's not really seeing that fight, as Love's going to be taking down Nut already to start things off for Munich Esports. And that's going to be a huge pick, as Alex as well going to be taking out the other support for Eurospar. And that's just going to open things up for Munich Esports now to win this first fight and get control of the control point.
You really got to be expecting how that Pharah is going to play. I mean, one good damage-boosted rocket shot is almost enough to kill a Zenyatta, but the follow-up is absolutely going to melt down. So they're very much running this squishy composition with nobody to contest. Trust me, they got to really play a lot faster, and they have to make these split-second decisions, because that pulse bomb could have landed on the brig and shut down the fight before it even started.
Yeah, well, that pulse bomb not finding anything, but Love, it doesn't matter because he's already found the two supports already, and that's just going to open things up yet again for the side of Munich Esports, as Love on this Tracer, finding another pick, getting that 3K to finish things off.
Look at that, absolutely beautiful. Love gets so much room, and this is why you see him in the kill feed so often. That's solely because the rest of Munich Esports, their main job is to enable the Tracer. Love continuously is being able to walk in, clip people, walk out, and then the Wrecking Ball dives in. Maybe the D.Va goes at the Pharah damage. And, well, it just increases into that fact of, well, Love being able to kill people. Poor Sombra is that pure example of it.
Yeah, and they're focusing that Sombra down, not even building up the EMP at the barrage coming through, as well as the sound barrier from Munich Esports. But it's going to be Love not using anything but their own cooldown to take down Nut yet again to start things off in the favor of Munich Esports. Looking for another pick onto Waldo. It's going to be Exo, but it's still, in the end, Munich Esports still on top.
Honestly, it's quite interesting just to see the playstyle of Eurospar. Solely since they're not really being able to build up these ultimates, so they can't engage with the ultimates, allowing Munich Esports to relatively play very passively rather than immediately using an ult. They tend to wait for Eurospar to walk in on them, then they commit the ultimate. So with Faith having the EMP and Pure Edge having the D.Va Bomb, this sets it up, but I mean the burst damage is already so big.
The EMP is finally out, and it only connects to Crook, and it doesn't even matter because Munich Esports have gotten all the kills necessary to take the first point of Lijiang Tower.
I mean, that's just incredibly unfortunate. Being hyper-focused on one single point, or at least one single strategy, can be a blinding, and it seemed that not everybody was able to fully get themselves on to the point, especially with that EMP. It was big, but it was so predictable that the Pharah and the rest of Munich Esports, they were able to play around it. Now, when it comes down to the servers and how this point is going to work, it's definitely going to be a lot more close quarters. We're going to see, I think, very big plays, and it's up to the more of the off tanks to see what they can do. Two very talented players going up against each other in very similar compositions, but who can defend the other?
Well, we'll see here how things start off here. We're seeing these dueling Reinhardts, and it's Alex starting off, taking out Pure Irish's mech to start this fight off with the favor of Munich yet again. Trust me, going around looking for some things with this Doomfist. Not going to find really much value, but they do get that stun onto the Reinhardt, finally getting the Rein out of the fight, and Munich Esports can be able to win this out. That Symmetra teleporter right there, however, could change this entire fight, but no, they're just going to wait and regroup.
No, it definitely gives you that room to regroup, but you really don't want to push into that unless you're a full stack. As you see now, this is where they want to brawl, but they have to be careful of the Doomfist.
Yeah, well, Faith is already down and out. It's not going to really matter any longer, as Trust Me going to try to take out the Reinhardt. Not going to get it, but still, the side of Munich going to keep pushing for it and getting these kills and continue to tick up on the capture center of Control Center.
Aerospar's reliance on this Symmetra is very unwarranted at this point. I mean, you have the wall, so you keep it for there, but you're not really getting too much value out of it other than that. Luckily, you do get the advantage in this fight. You're being able to start pushing in, but can you sustain it for long with the return of the Reinhardt?
Well, the sound barrier is going to be huge. Shatter coming out, man, does connect to Exo there. Self-destruct out as well, but it's going to be Alex getting this remech kill, as it looks like Eurospar have finally cracked open Munich Esports as they look to finally get some capture percentage on the board for the first time all game so far, as GCB getting a couple of boop kills in the end, as finally Eurospar gets some capture percentage going.
That was incredibly close. If Waldo or Faith had just messed up a single time, then not only would Trust Me have lived, but somebody else. And that means they could have returned back to this fight. Even then, Munich Esports, they're confident, just waiting a couple seconds, and that... Oh, that's a punish!
Yeah, that was a very inspirational charge coming in from Drunk on that Reinhardt there, as this is just going to be Munich Esports coming back in full force and getting this capture percentage back very quickly.
Honestly, that's just incredibly unfortunate. They go for the charge, it doesn't land, and I really don't think you should be going for these like very aggressive playstyles if you cannot confirm the ability. You do build up some ultimates and you find out Love, but Love's not the issue. It's the entire team.
Well, Waldo did start things off, getting a pick on to Love, like you were saying, but it's already looking good for Munich to turn it around. Nut does take down Exo. Nut, another pick onto their counterpart of Crook. This could be enough for the side of Eurospar to come back, take it back. They do get the control point, but Love, the 2K Deadeye, comes through at the biggest moment for the side of Munich Esports as they come back, quickly get it back into their favor.
I mean, Munich Esports, it's almost as if they're calming their first plan, their second plan, and then their backup strategy, and then they talk about what's going on. As we see, they have to rush to the point, and this is not good.
The Shatter coming out does connect to Love, but they're not going to be able to connect onto that Cassidy in the backline. Pure Iris does take down Trust Me, but still, there's so many picks going into the favor of Munich. They're up 1 right now as the Shatter comes through as well, connecting to a couple, as this should be all they need to take the first round of our first to 4 series.
I mean, they were coming into the series undefeated, haven't lost a single map. So to see them come in with his very dominant performance is pretty much a given, but I really want to give it to not Eurospar playing bad or anything of those sorts. It's just the fact that Munich Esports, they are synchronized to such a nice degree, to such a fine factor that Love or the Doomfist could die very early. Trust Me could go and Hail Mary flank, and they would still be able to win a 5v6, and that's solely because of team synergy. They are prepared to go either above the way, retreat, and that's the synergy that you're really looking for out of these teams. I mean, Eurospar, they've had a lot of these close moments, but they are still ready to fight against the world, especially with the reverse sweep that they had earlier in this season. So, you know, when we get a look at kind of the estimate of how these teams are, you know, synergizing, and when we look at the main point, which is going to be that Reinhardt, we get a moment to see what their play styles are impacting on the team and how much they're benefiting. And I definitely feel that they've been very equal when it comes to at least sustainability and kind of protecting the unit. But I definitely feel the usage of charge and kind of being counted out by that Doomfist plays a big point. I definitely think we can kind of both point out that over on Eurospar, the Reinhardt was getting stunned out a lot. The Reinhardt was getting punched out a lot. And, well, that's not really helping or really benefiting the team. So, you know, especially when you're going in, you get immediately melted because you charge wrongly, or maybe you're charging and that person gets killed midway through. It just does not work well, especially because we do have the stats to show it. So honestly, I gotta say, Munich Esports, they are just ready to shine as it goes into the series. But when it comes down to the next map, I definitely think that it's going to kind of be a very similar to Lijiang Tower, but yet still different, as Havana, of all points, enables the dive compositions. But these teams very much like the Wrecking Ball strategy. I definitely feel Munich Esports, they're not going to be having a troubling time, but Eurospar, they're definitely going to be showing a lot of life since they'll have different varieties that they can try to counter with.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how these teams go on. We did see a little bit of a tease coming out from the attacking phase, but obviously they are still attacking, so we don't really know, and we haven't really seen any of the heroes yet. But we're heading into Havana this moment as the time ticks down. You were saying Wrecking Ball compositions, maybe some double shield, but we'll see in about 5 seconds here, user.
You know, that's a fair assessment, but I'm wrong. Okay, I probably should have specified on which side Munich Esports would be in, because that heavily impacts what they do and how they want to play. What's interesting about their defense is, especially from their most previous series, it's almost as if they force you into a dangerous kill box rather than solely being a very defensive and pokey team. They play this composition the way it's meant to be played, but with their own style. I mean, look, they are already looking for a close hold, and Love's entire job is stopping any flankers from being able to come in, while Trust Me's main point is to, hey, I'm going to try and burst you down as fast as possible. Eurospar, while they are going to be a little bit prepared to try to go against this, I don't think they realize to what degree.
It's very odd to see the close hold with the double shield and the Widowmaker of all things here. Let's see if it works out for them, but if Eurospar just rushes into them, but it's already working out for the side of Munich. They've already taken down 2. They've taken down the Reinhardt. is huge, as Trust Me is getting all this damage down from on high. No one's looking up, as Munich's looking strong so far.
It sucks how much Waldo is in a very unfavorable position on this first point. Can't help Pure Irish put pressure onto that D.Va with the double shield there, poking you out. I mean, that D.Va cannot leave the Reinhardt side at any point. You even drop that shield and Love will take you out.
Yeah, as they start things, that's a big pick. Pure Irish taking down Crook is huge, but then it just turns back yet again into the favor of Munich with all these picks going into the kill feed for Blue. They do take down Watery, which is huge, and that should bode the end of this close hold for Munich, as we're going to see them fall back and wait for their supports to come back.
I mean, Eurospar did the best that they could in that scenario. They just took out the support, forces Munich to immediately retreat, but they've given them so much ult charge by this point that it really just isn't fair of how this fight is, because look, the barrage!
Goodness. Trust me, with a 2K barrage and then the follow-up as well. 4K looking for a 5th onto the Lucio. Can they get it? They cannot. Exo's going to be able to take that last kill from... Trust me, in the end, Watery does go down very late, however.
It's unfortunate, Eurospar. They don't have any room to break the distance. They can't speed boost into it. It seems that it's just too far away. Though this bomb benefits them, they still have to finish it off. They have to start cleaning this up quickly.
Well, it looks like they are cleaning things off. 2 picks already, and oh my goodness, Alex with a little bit of skill coming out with a 360 rock, but it's not going to matter in the end as Eurospar finally clean things up and look to get to the end, but we're probably going to be seeing a contest coming through.
We are 100% going to be seeing a contest coming through. With that Orisa dying first, it's going to lead to the Bongo being used just at that comfortable sustainability. But the bigger problem is that Eurospar, they have to defend. And, well, they only have the Shatter with no shield to try to do it.
Yeah, and there comes the Bongos out, like you say. That finally gets dealt with, but they dealt with the shield immediately, as Drunk is just not going to be able to play this game with the Grid of Flux coming through. Waldo looking for something, but not finding anything with the Deadeye, as the Tracer duel in the back with the Widowmaker is going to be coming out. But it's going to be Crook finding all the picks necessary to win this thing out for Munich Esports, as Trustby gets that late kill onto Waldo with a headshot.
I mean, Munich Esports, they trust each other to such an unhealthy degree. I've got to say that it's impressive, solely just since they did not overextend. They waited for somebody to touch, and then the Orisa with the confidence touch. And look at this, they are peeled in for each other. I mean, the post bomb lands, but the immortality keeps them up. You're not ready for the coordination of Munich Esports.
Yeah, as they're going to be coming through, the Shatter connects, does get, and
the
Dragon Strike gets eaten by Pure Irish. Finally, it looks like things are going to be opening up. Love has found 2, however. That could be enough, but they do get to the they get the first point capture in the end, as Waldo gets a nice little 3K there.
I mean, that's just incredibly unfortunate on the side of Munich Esports. They put a lot of resources into defending Love. I definitely feel you could have risked not having Love into that fight, though, it goes both ways. It's a here and there. Eurospar, though, they now have the ultimate advantage, a complete comp switch when it comes to Munich Esports. With this window, at least you force them to back up, you get more point percentage. The bigger problem comes into you're the one engaging into them, and they have setups for the Maywall. It's harder for Faith to be prepared against them.
The self-destruct coming out. That's going to connect on to Love there. Unfortunate. Not going to be with the team. And now Eurospar is going to be rushing in, getting all the kills necessary. Pure Irish popping off here on that D.Va roll as they continue to push this cart through Havana Brewery.
Munich Esports, they weren't ready for that bomb. They got called out by a really nice Maywall, which splits off Love. If Love was in that fight, it would have put a lot into the pressure forefront. However, Munich Esports already coming back into this push. Their big problem is just focusing off Faith and Drunk at the same time. They're both deadly people in their own right, but with their utility, it's just different.
The Deadeye coming out from Waldo, looking to get something doing here, but no one is going to be available as the Earth Shatter comes out from Drunk, but it's not going to matter because they're already down in this fight thanks to Exo's Fire Strike, and the rest of Munich are going to push forward without that Reinhardt to deal with any longer and get all the kills necessary to get that cart back into their favor.
I mean, Munich Esports, they have such a good understanding of when to go passive, when to go aggressive. They know the high noon is there. Even if they have their window and they can theoretically eat all the damage, they don't want to risk it. They don't want to extend unnecessarily, and they're not wasting those movements. Even if Nut has his window on the high ground, I mean, they're already set up looking to counter you.
And they're going to be starting things off yet again, taking this aggressive positioning away from Eurospar and not going to get the best amp matrix they probably had wanted, as it's going to be on the ground and they're just going to be able to kite around it. As they do have this Blizzard online, look for, there it comes out, not going to be eaten out, but the Deadeye not finding anything from Love at the moment. There's still got people left on the point. The Blizzard out as well from Trust Me. That's going to lock everyone up on point, and that's going to win this fight for the side of Munich yet again, as they just clean up these last couple stragglers.
They're just being split up during these mid-fights. They now have to go on a composition to even touch that point. But losing your Baptiste this late, you're not going to have that immortality. Your sound barrier is built, but you don't have a Lucio who can touch that point. The Wrecking Ball last second is able to land on. But this is the big stagger. And with that Rhine damage, it's just untouchable. It's a death box. You're being baited to just touch for hopes of overtime. It's just not in their favor.
Yeah, they're trying as well as they can. They got the sound barrier online. They've got 3 people, but still, there's just so much damage on the side of Munich. As Love 2K Deadeye finishing things off. Oh, no. They did not finish things off yet. There they go, finishing things off. Finally, taking out Drunk on that Wrecking Ball is Alex, as the hold coming through on Brewery from Munich Esports.
Drunk reminds me of one of those kids who, like, joins the game very late, not realizing it's already over, you know, just like, hey, wait, I'm a part of this. Unfortunately, you know, not dies, because that's not the simile that I want to go off of a child dying. That's absolutely terrible. Either way, to move on, Munich Esports have been doing an amazing job when it comes to splitting down Eurospar. I think the bigger point of what's going down in these fights is that Eurospar, they don't have the room to play as a team. They don't have the ability to be a unit when Munich Esports are not only walling off or isolating off Eurospar, but they're making sure that they are stacked. There is the time where Trust Me or Love will be flanking, but that's their job. That's what they're meant to do. Eurospar, when they're not able to work as a unit, you're obviously seeing them crumble continuously throughout these series. They deserve to be here, and especially because they have shown as an Irish team not only to be able to reverse sweep and make it to Contenders World Cup and do incredibly well, you know, they have shown to go up against the odds, and these tough moments are when they start to adapt. I wouldn't be surprised to see them switch off this close hold once it stops working, especially when you have to close the distance in these fights.
Well, it's already going to probably be busted open thanks to Trust Me sparring. Oh my goodness, a quick dealt with. Pure Irish going to be getting in the face of that Farm Mercy and taking them out, and that's going to be huge, as it's going to buy some time off the clock for this defense from Eurospar.
It's just incredibly dangerous. It's not that they're stopping Munich Esports from coming out. It's Munich Esports don't want to. They have the heroes to just poke this out, and they will build the ult economy faster than Eurospar. This is more dangerous for Eurospar than anyone else, as this is wasting their resources. And if they get caught out, well, look at that, the Nano's already built.
Yeah, and they're going to be putting it on to Trust Me's far as a nice anti-nade comes through, and that's going to open things off. The self-destruct is there from Pure Irish, but it's not going to find anyone, as they're going to be taken out in mid-form, as Alex finding Waldo in the end, as Trust Me and Exo getting the last 2 kills in that fight, as everything now is opened up for Munich Esports.
I mean, what are you supposed to do in that scenario? Nobody's walking out. It's complete frustration when you want to build an ult economy so you can try and play against it. But they're there. They know how to play against it, and they're not giving you any room. Now, not only are you going to be very tough. Oh my goodness!
What a shot coming in from Love there. Looking for another one, possibly multiple angles coming through, but it's not going to matter because, well, they've got this barrage online looking for something, but it's going to be caught out. Waldo is checking that far like they need to because they know they have that barrage online with a nice anti-nade coming through. Going to have to push back as Watery takes out Waldo. The Battle Mercy coming through, and another flick. Oh my goodness, Love coming through onto the wall, riding Lucio. The barrage finds two of their own and killing Drunk as they try to charge out.
Just want to remind Love, my Twitter DMs are open to conversation. But that's all Munich Esports, giving the room for these picks. I mean, yes, the DPS are definitely finding what they can, but it's the fact that the Orisa and D.Va are making sure that the support lines stay up. If Crook or Watery fall down at any point, that could have been a big problem. However, now they have room to set up. They have the Bongo, they have the Nano, and Iraspar, they don't have the room to close the distance, and that's nothing given to them. It's just that they aren't able to use the resource. They want to use the wall to block people off, but at this point, I'd say use it to stop them from shooting you.
Yeah, they've got this up. The Nano boost is onto the bar yet again. Not going to find anyone with it because of that Blizzard. As Pure Irish does take down Crook, that could open things up for the defense to get a hold, but Love still alive. Going to be clicking heads, taking out the Cassidy for the side of Eurospar, but still, it's not going to be enough for the side of Munich to really hold on to this. They've lost all these people, and Eurospar are going to be able to start this defensive hold on Brewery.
I mean, what did I say before? If Crook or Watery fall down at all, it becomes a bigger problem. Love and Trust Me are a threat, but they're only a threat when you're putting a lot of focus onto them. They basically want to be that trap. Love is going for these outrageous plays, knowing that, well, you're not going to focus on me. You want to go after the front line. And, well, look at that. That's a beautiful play. They can't even push in now.
Well, Love does take down Faith, however. This could bode well, and they're still close enough as the res does come through onto Crook. That's going to be able to push, have Munich keep pushing forward. The barrage coming out. Trust Me does go down thanks to a sacrifice from Pure Irish, but in the end, not having that D.Va could be huge as they're going to keep pushing forward. Watery does go down in the end, but it's still, no one's died yet, and they're still going to be able to come back as Exos take down Drunk, and Love gets the flick onto Faith as well, as now Munich open things up yet again. Love taking down Nut on the Baptiste, as Trust Me going to be looking for some picks with this Doomfist. My goodness, as this is going to be going forward for Munich Esports, and it's going to be very difficult for them, Eurospar, to touch.
I mean, they start paying attention to the tank line who were shielding the support line. It's a tight tangle that you have to play, but now there's a Doomfist nanoed in your face.
The Nano Doomfist coming out is going to be charged out and away, but that's going to open up the Reinhardt to positioning. That's a nice pull slam combo coming through from the side of Munich Esports as they finally win this map, and they go up 2-0 into the series.
My goodness! The amount of words that I could say, but would get me banned on twitch.tv/EloHellEsports_EU is a lot, I definitely gotta say, because that match was a shining point to show Munich Esports' own strong suit, especially when it comes down to focus fire. Look at the moment to where that last fight took place and how they pull to the Doomfist, immediately switches targets, doesn't go after the Reinhardt that's low, goes after the two squishies, knowing that with the Orisa pull, you can guarantee the pick, and that Reinhardt's going to die regardless. You know, I think a lot of teams can struggle to that moment where you want to guarantee that kill. You know, sometimes you trust your teammates, but you're so focused on that target that, you know, you break your own line, you break your own point, and it hurts. But the star of that map definitely has to be Love, and how much focus Love was able to, how much damage Love was able to get as a Widowmaker for the entirety of that point. I mean, Irish had too many people to try to help and too many people to focus, and when the team isn't able to quickly take out not only the support but a tank, it gives Love a lot of room to be able to walk out, definitely get these shots off, and just beautiful play style. It's gonna have to, bring them over to a lane just to be able to check that computer. And definitely with these stats as well, I mean, you'll get a moment to see kind of the shining point when it comes down to Love's on Widowmaker.
Yeah, the stats. If we can get them up on the screen here, I'm looking at them right now. And oh my goodness, 61% weapon accuracy coming out from Love, 15% scope critical hit accuracy. That's incredible. And almost all their eliminations were final blows.
Listen, I can understand 20 eliminations. I can understand 16 final blows. What I can't understand is a 61 weapon accuracy. I mean, honestly, that's roughly like a 2% more than I was really expecting, especially with the crit hit accuracy. Because I feel like Love was shooting a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
But was hitting, I guess, a lot more targets than I truly was being able to notice. And that's a big point. That means that Widowmaker is getting value, especially at this elo. I mean, 50% and less is practically throwing. So to see 61, that's where you want to be. That's a shining star. However, Erospar, they are not over. They've been put against the walls so many times before. They're here for a reason, and they've got the players to prove that. I want you guys to make sure that you go use the bathroom, go get some water, take a break, because we'll be right back when we continue this series. All right, so stay tuned. in the scuffle. Maybe a final opportune moment to where the Tracer 1v1 is going to be punished, falling off the map. Keep it getting the melee. At least that goes to your full spot, full charge. Now your scrim. Just barely make it out in the fight on the point. No recall. You're absolutely
about like 100% better most of the time. Still waiting on this nano. I mean, you know. Not ideal.
Yeah, so let's take a second to look at the Tracer statistics, though. There is a significant amount of time difference, but 18 eliminations, 8k damage, 6 ultimates used. That is a lot. That's three mines, maybe on both attack and defense. Playing for 11 minutes and 5 seconds compared to 15, you're equal, if not better than Habit. And I think that's not only showing a different play style, but a different understanding of how you're wanting to play that Eva. Hatu still being able to get in that consistent damage. Look at the final blows per 10, 8.1 more than Habit. Stay up.
Rally because they know that it's coming at some point here.
But look, the bomb is what makes the difference, Booty. It's the bomb.
Rocket shots. Now everybody's kind of out, you know, separated.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you didn't miss us too much as we're heading into map 3 with Munich Esports up 2-0 in the series. But before that, user has some things to talk to you about.
Well, I definitely do. Want to let you guys know a little bit onto the behind the scenes, and I'm not really supposed to be talking about this, all right? So I'm going to be letting you in on a very good secret of just the content side of what's going on. You know, Overwatch EX, there's been some whispers going on. Papa C, you know, one of the ambassadors, thinking of some content ideas, and so, you know, even with the season kind of wrapping up very closely, it's, you know, there's going to be a lot of content surrounding after and in between it, so I would highly recommend just tuning in. So, you know, going back into at least this map and what's the now, you know, the present rather than the future, we get to talk about our next map. And Joker, it's my background. I'm forever trapped within it. I can never leave because King's Row is everybody's favorite map.
It's not my favorite map.
Oh, so you're normal. No,
yeah.
you're not normal. You're the Joker.
Yeah. It's not my favorite map because it's everyone's favorite map. But yeah, we're gonna be heading into King's Row. Everyone knows what King's Row is about. We're probably gonna be seeing more of that brawl that we've been seeing out from Eurospar and maybe from Munich Esports as well. But it'll be really interesting to see how it continues forward. But I don't know. Are you expecting to see this brawl coming out from both of these teams here, user?
For both teams, no. For Eurospar, yes. I definitely feel they, from the amount of times that I've seen them play and definitely win, that brawl has been something they have heavily attached themselves to. Though they do make a lot of variations, it's very something that they are confident on. While Munich Esports, on the other hand, I don't think I've seen them run a conventional composition on a map that where, you know, we tend to see more often than not. And, you know, one of my points goes back to yesterday's match with Munich Esports, as they walk out on King's Row sometimes with a bunker comp with the shields, and they like to put in that damage. And it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes they do go out with the brawl just because it's that bread and butter, but they are so good at switching up their compositions that I don't think they have a comfortable type of style. I definitely feel that they are ready to do whatever it takes. If they want to focus on isolation and messing with their opponents, they're going to go for that wrecking ball strategy, even if this is a tight corridor map. If they want to break down their opponents and give themselves a lot of time to be able to set up, they're going for that double shield / bunker style composition. And if they want to just ego, maybe move in forward and be the players that they are, they will go over to that brawl. I think it's just a style of, you know, how do they want to counteract Eurospar's own gameplay? And it's definitely going to be something similar. It's not too different, though, because Munich Esports, they're going on to the defense. They want to, you know, make sure they have that win condition there. Possibly a full hold, though. I would not get your hopes up. Eurospar, they denied it once. They will deny it again at 10 billion%. So to see the Doomfist out, this is definitely something of not high mobility necessarily, but they want to play minds on you. Though the Bastion is something I've never seen before. You know, I mean, you're gonna be able to you're gonna be able to control line of sight. You're gonna be able to focus people down to one tunnel, and trust me, he's gonna be able to dive on top of them. The brain is turning, the electrons are moving, and we'll have to see, can they finally start getting some momentum?
Well, it's going to be really interesting to see if this Bastion actually works out for Love. Like you were saying, it's a very confusing pick, but it can focus things down. They're going to start things off looking to get picked. They do take down the Baptiste. The Ray Wall helping the side of Munich Esports there, getting that high ground for Love as they're going to keep pushing the side of Eurospar back to spawn.
That's just unlucky from Faith. I don't think you were truly expecting that the Bastion to be walled up rather than walled off. Even then, that Bastion's going to break it down extremely quickly. Who do you even put the resource onto? The Doomfist jumping into you, the Bastion who's breaking off one angle after another. I think you have to do a little bit of everything. Eurospar, their focus is being put to the test, and it seems that they just want to go through Hotel, give that Bastion a little more range, but you get a little bit more poke.
Yeah, and there comes the Bastion back down, already breaking down that May wall, and they're just caught between a rock and a hard place is Eurospar right now. It's either this massive amount of damage from the front line as Trust Me takes down Pure Irish, as the Amp Matrix out as well is just gonna, the May wall is not gonna be even a thing any longer because of that Bastion just pumping in the damage. The Amp Matrix is out and about from the side of Eurospar, but it seems more like a crutch than anything because it's not going to really matter at this moment. Trust Me does go down to Waldo, but they wasted that Amp Matrix, and they might get a tick, but it was a waste of an ultimate if I'm going to be completely honest at the moment, but they're still investing to win this all out, and it looks like they have a chance too. They've taken down Love, and now Crook has taken down Waldo. It's still looking good for Eurospar at the moment as they've gotten this first tick on the point. If respawns are coming back from Munich, but I don't think they're going to be looking to touch.
It's not even that they're, not looking to touch. I think they're more looking to waste down this time pick. I mean, look at this synergized recontest as Alex is there, throws out the bomb. They don't care to win, but if they can, they will.
Taking down Faith is a massive pick, and now they've also got Drunk out of this fight. Love is back on the Cassidy as well to get some poke damage down, but they don't need it. They've already won this fight, and now they're just waiting for their respawns to come back and keep this full hold alive and well.
I mean, you're kidding me. Eurospar invested practically all 6 ults into that fight sparingly and still lost it out. Now, with this rotation, this at least is being a bit more in favor.
Faith does take down Watery, and they do have that late touch from Trust Me, but it's still looking good for Eurospar now. They've got this advantage in the fight that Flux going to be taking out Alex, and they finally get the point open, and now they just have to take care of Love. As it's looking good for Eurospar. But it's a very low time bank to normal standards if things rough.
I mean, that's practically what I was expecting, but I am so proud of Eurospar. I mean, they had to use the ultimates. That's a given, but they used them. They did not hesitate. They could have lost it for even a moment. And that's just given to the fact that Munich Esports are able to get these picks whenever they feel like it, especially with Love being back onto the Cassidy. I mean, playing it only for a little bit to build up that high noon, that's a big play.
Well, the Amp Matrix is out as well. It's really interesting. Crook going down. Love looking for the flank. High noon finds 2 thanks to Exo's Earth Shatter coming through as the side of Munich. Gonna get the team kill gong being sounded as they're gonna start this hold out on Streets phase of Kings Row.
Euro aren't going to be benefiting a lot from Pure Irish on the Sigma for too long anymore. I mean, with going up against the Bastion, I can definitely understand the mentals behind it, but I mean, you're just going up against a straight brawl. That Doomfist is just going to be punching into you. I much would prefer that D.Va to be able to peel in. Like, look, you aren't able to help out Waldo, and with the immortality being broken, your team is split.
And some massive damage coming out from Trust Me on that Doomfist coming through from Munich, and they're just stuck right in this little archway, a little doorway up at the top. They can't really do much, and Love is looking to take out Nut yet again, and they're gonna be wasting the immortality field because of it. They do take out Love, but at what cost? They use such crucial abilities to stay alive, and there comes the slam coming out from Faith. Not gonna find anyone. However, they still got this nice position going forward. They're pushing forward, but the Amp Matrix is now out from Munich, and this is going to be a lot of damage coming through from this defending squad. The Shatter not going to find anything, but it's still Eurospar looking to push forward, but Crook has taken down Faith. It's the Reinhardt is down now for Munich, though. Is it looking good for Waldo finding the 2K with the Deadeye, as they're going to be able to push forward, get these picks necessary, and might be able to get very close to the end of the second phase of Kings Row here.
I mean, Munich Esports, I don't even think they're playing like this game solely to stop them from like winning. I think they're just trying to waste down this time bank for as long as possible. The Widowmaker, the Torbjorn, these aren't, you know, fundamental picks. They're not a basis for this tree. They have just stuck on some ornaments and they don't look right, but they are still looking to try to hold this out, and I mean, they'll have more longevity due to it.
Yeah, and what they're going to be able to contest. Pure Irish does have this Gravitic Flux to open things up for the side of Eurospar, and they're going to be using it early on. Going to connect to a couple of people. The sound barrier is there from GCB as well to keep pushing forward. The Molten Core is coming out from Trust Me, but it's looking good for Eurospar to continue this push on to Kings Row third, as they do take down Alex after using that self-destruct. There's only two people left, and a Waldo headshot taking out Trust Me opens things up and gets the third point open for Eurospar.
That was a big play. Another extremely close moment. Munich Esports' own composition just does not enable for that type of fight, and that's why they lost that 10 billion%. And Love being on this Widowmaker, I mean, I can understand it, but pure hit scan skill alone is not going to be the difference. Eurospar are now building up their momentum, and they have the ultimate to play around it. They just have to be extremely careful with these engagements.
Oh, and the engagement starting off, Faith taking out Love is huge to begin with, but now all these picks are coming out from the favor, but Faith is knocked off. Faith with another pick with the rocket punch coming through, as Eurospar, they might have done it and been able to open things up, as Watery was in the back line there for some reason, but the respawn should be back for Munich to contest this.
Yeah, I mean, Munich East, I mean, their composition, I has that pieces there, but the Widowmaker just has no room to play this game. Drunk is getting away free until that eventual punishment, and now they have that reset, but this is more of just Eurospar punishing themselves rather than Munich Esports managing to shut them down.
Yeah, and that's what they needed. Love getting into the day there in the end. Ooh, but an interesting investment. Oh, well, it's not an interesting investment because there was only 2 seconds left as Munich Esports get the hold on point 3 there, but definitely a lot further than they were hoping for Eurospar to get to.
That adrenaline is getting to their head there, or at least on the side of Eurospar. The way that they pushed into that was, it was a type of style to where, oh, I have more of a time bank, I can get away with this, and you know, you're able to just freely live because of that. However, when your running into them and you have that less of a time bank, you increase the chances of dying off. You increase the chance of getting split off with that Mei especially. And that's what happened. Herospar, 10 billion%. They could have capped that point. Love was basically there just to scare them for a little bit, while Faith and Waldo, they were stepping their game up. They were making sure to look for these counters, and I mean, especially when it comes to Faith, I think the Doomfist has been a shining star when it came down to that last fight, and it benefited them to great extent. But I mean, it's just more of just, when do you want to push in? When do you want to be a unit? Those are the questions you got to be asking yourself. And Eurosport, they don't have a clear grip on it. While I think Munich Esports, they know what they want to do, and even if they switch up their composition to go on things a little bit more unconventional, they're prepared to die with it. And well, that's what's shining so far.
Yeah, and now we're heading into the attack phase, as we're going to be seeing, it looks like, this bog standard brawl from Munich Esports, but Love is just kind of chilling. No. Ooh, they're going to do the Sureforce switch, coming through from spawn, looking to get some picks out here on to the opposing team, the defending squad. They're going to have to take these angles to not be in the sightlines of Love at this moment, and it's gonna bode very well for Munich, as Alex has already taken down Faith, and now they're just in this little tight room and can't do much about it because, well, Love has taken out Pure Irish with a headshot coming through, as this is gonna be huge for Munich, as a very big time bank is coming through, going through to Streets phase.
My goodness, I mean, the Sureforce strategy, the biggest meme of all, they didn't even do it perfectly. It's not the same one for one, but the fundamental idea right there is, perfect. You distract your enemies, and then the Widowmaker is able to get a lot of value or enable the team to do so. And as we saw, Love was not able to secure a pick, mostly getting these body shots. However, Munich Esports, they were able to build an ult economy off of it, and they were able to push forward, while Eurospar feared getting shot by that Widowmaker, and, well, that's just not what you want.
Ooh, and Faith does take down Love there in the end, almost going down, however, as, now they've taken away this positioning as Alex is Watery. You're at third point there, bud.
Yeah, they definitely are overextending, and now this is where the fight's going to get a bit hectic. The Blizzard to allow them to move, and Eurospar caught themselves in an over-aggressive space again.
Yeah, as Pure Irish gonna get out with their life. Crook goes down to the Meteor Strike, as the side of Eurospar gonna be opening things up, winning this fight out and starting their defense strong at a very good position.
I say over-aggressive, I mean perfectly planned. Just the fact that Nut was able to keep them alive, especially using that immortality, which almost got melted down, that could have been extremely dangerous. And Pure Irish focusing, helping the Doomfist secure the picks with the Gravitic Flux. That's coordination that we saw last map, and this is what we're going to be seeing now. Oh no!
Crook is down and out here, as the Jedi taking out Exo as well, thanks to the charge coming through from Drunk, as they're just going to be wasting some ultimates there. The self-destruct going to be going out and about. Maybe some swaps coming through from Munich Esports now.
I mean, this almost feels like Munich Esports, they're baiting these ultimates out. Obviously, yes, they don't have the ult economy at all to be able to invest anything, but they're going into these fights very sporadically and almost questionable to where it's benefiting that we see Eurospar use them, pop them. Now they're trying with the Zenyatta.
Yeah, as Watery going down here to GCB, and as Doomfist finding value yet again, taking out the support of Crook, as Love has found two of their own here, but it does not seem to be enough. But they're pushing people back. Alex is at the back line taking out Nut as well, and the DPS of the Baby Diva are going to be pushing back and getting this cart back and pushing it forward.
Munich Esports are definitely looking like they are struggling when it comes to how they want to play against this Doomfist. They went from Lucio to Zenyatta and now over to Brigitte as some form of a change. The Nanoblade is also building up, which is a very dangerous utility to use, as you can easily get a 6k but easily die. I think it just matters to see if they can shut down the Gravitic Flux.
Deadeye coming through, as well as the Dragon Blade Nano boosted Genji coming out. Not going to find much, however, as Trust Me does go down to a headshot by Waldo. But still, Munich are going to keep pushing forward. They've got this advantage at the moment. They don't have their DPS. The Shatter comes through, does connect to GCB, but they did not get the confirm the kill onto the Lucio, as Deadeye not going to find much value from Eurospar, only some positioning coming out. But Faith, oh my goodness, going to get out with just a hair of HP thanks to this Meteor Strike, as it's really anyone's game at the moment, looking for something as the Amp Matrix comes through. The self-destruct finds two! Oh my goodness, Alex with a massive shatter comes through back from Drunk, and that might be enough, as it looks, it is definitely going to be enough for the side of Eurosport to continue this hold on second point after a massive play coming in.
We haven't seen Drunk, get these hero moments, so being able to show that talent, that's what I'm talking about! It was just a very big moment and definitely saved that entire push. However, Munich Esports, they came incredibly close to bringing that back. Now with the support ultimates that they're building up, they're most likely going to be able to capture the second point. But the question goes, at what timing? Will it be in overtime? Will it be in 30 seconds? That's what Eurospar basically want to dwindle down as much as they can.
Faith is already back in the back line yet again. Gonna get stunned out there by the Brigitte, and Love has down Faith. That's huge. Looking for another pick onto that Lucio would have been huge there for Munich Esports. But Waldo's by the 2K Deadeye, that might have wrapped things up, as it looks like Munich Esports have finally lost their first map. But I mean, Love is still alive. But now there goes Love. It's 20 seconds left, and it's looking like Munich has lost their first map of the tournament.
I mean, the map's not even over, and you're already calling it. I'll give you that. That's definitely a valuable statement, because to touch this point, we need to see the best rollout of the universe, and honestly, I don't think it's there. Wait, no, but they get the touch!
They are going to get the touch, and oh my goodness, Drunk is already super low, and Trust Me is taking out Waldo. This is huge. Shatter comes out, and that's going to Trust Me and Alex, but it's not going to matter. But Faith is still alive. He's about two. He goes down, but so Love with my Love's shotguns, and it does seem to be in a perfect engagement coming in from Munich, as they do get the connect onto the point 3.
Joker.
Yeah.
Joker. You just caster cursed them.
Yep,
You better pay Eurospar something, because you said Munich Esports they were gone, but no, they came back and they brought it solely because Eurospar didn't know who to focus on at that last moment. Now they have to go into this high aggression type fight.
Yeah, and Exo's taking out Nutwatery as well, getting these picks for the side of Munich. And they're going to be able to win this fight out very quickly, and that's definitely what they needed with such small of a time bank going into this point 3.
Oh my goodness, they are panicking at this point, where they just want to stall this out. They have to not let them capture this, and well, the ultimates are not in their favor, but maybe Faith just put some in them.
Well, this Meteor Strike looking for something, but it's going to be way too late, as Alex has found a 2K already, and it's just the cleanup as Munich Esports taking the third map at a very unlikely odds.
Joker, I am blacklisting you from everywhere, okay? You've got to give some credit to Munich Esports. I mean, the touch was incredibly close due to the Diva Busters and the Reinhardt being able to lightly touch. And then, well, it seems like Munich Esports, they flicked a switch in their head. They said, okay, we're going to stop messing around and we're just going to immediately move in. Eurospar, we're doing a fantastic job, but unfortunately, they didn't have, I think, the composition and really the confidence to hold it. When we get a moment to look at these Reinhardts, especially because it wasn't exactly for time, but these stats, they're definitely showing a very big difference on just how much EGZO is able to not only do basically a little bit more damage block, a little bit more damage, but a bit more when it comes down to the eliminations. The biggest difference is final blows, which is by 1. That's showing just how much of a, time matters and how similar these tanks are when it comes to playing against themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a main tank difference, really. There, as and you can just tell by the stats. Look at that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, user.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't say that it's too ridiculous for this either. What I would say is ridiculous is the fact that we are at match point already. It's a 3-0 at this moment, and Eurospar, they're basically they're taking up against good Boulder. I want to think of a good analogy for this because the way I'm seeing this is that they're not giving up any ground. They are digging their heels into the earth, making sure that they are giving their foothold, and Faith is trying to enable that. The rest of their players, like Drunk, are trying to do so. But I think it's just the fact that sometimes in these fights, especially during those the end of the fights, they're getting split off, and when one target's able to get focused out, it's going to snowball into those scenarios. You've got to just punish Munich Esports for being a little bit too close together when you have a Doomfist of all characters, and they have those squishies to where you can especially one-shot if your team runs in with you and is making sure that you're getting the resources that you are, and that's just not what's happening for the side of Eurospar. They have one more map to try and bring this out, and Joker, why does it have to be the map type that is the easiest to snowball on?
And speaking of that map type, we're going to be heading to my background now. We're heading over to Hanamura. And, well, I mean, 2CP is 2CP, and we like to call these some of these things that happen on 2CP getting 2CP'd. They're probably going to be seeing that obviously if we get to the second point of the map. It's so difficult to capture the second point just based on sheer attack or defending spawn presence.
You make it an excellent point, especially when it goes down to the style of Hanamura. I definitely think we're very used to seeing that Symmetra teleporter. It's a key idea, but Munich Esports have never been a team that runs the fundamentals or anything that you're too used to. They seem, I don't know if that contenders when, everything these players, they've got to their heads and they think, you could just style on anybody on any type of competitions. But as you saw, when they played on something very weird, it wasn't exactly working. Eurospar were able to kind of go up against that pretty evenly. So I think if they want to win out on Hanamura, it's not a moment where you run that Genji because you want to run that Genji, or you run the Zenyatta because you want to look to do more damage or help your own team. I think you very much have to go for the most optimal strategy because Eurospar, they're just waiting for that first map win. That's how a snowball happens. And especially on a map like Hanamura, where staggers and stalls is basically the pain that takes over people, that can be a big problem. So I'm heavily expecting Munich Esports to go back over to the bunker style or double shield composition that we've seen back on maps like Havana and on Lijiang Tower. Well, not on Lijiang Tower, but you know what I mean. Mostly on Havana. And they're going to be looking to split angles. They're going to want to stop Eurospar to play together, as they've been doing for this entire set.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It felt like on King's Row, they were just doing whatever they wanted to, and it worked out in the end for them. But like you said, once they wisened up and got away from all these random picks and getting to that Reaper Doomfist, getting all those picks necessary in the end. And if they want to win this, they need to play it more seriously, like you were saying, because like you said, Eurospar was on the brink of winning, but unfortunately, Munich were just too strong coming back to that point, and the Eurospar was lost.
You're absolutely right. However, like a coin in my pocket, when I'm trying to reach down to find it, it's always never there. And maybe we misplaced it. Maybe Eurospar, they've now found their quarter in their pocket, and they're ready to show what type of team they are. They are ready to get this match win and then reverse sweep it all the way. Munich Esports, you have a lot to be expecting, even if you are sitting comfortably at the defender's side. And more interestingly, I think this is pretty uncommon, but it's not bad. You know, I definitely don't want to look at this and say, well, it's a wrecking ball strategy, blah, blah, blah. It's really good at isolation and just killing anybody that it can. I think it's just going to be more onto Eurospar to identify and then counteract it. I mean, the composition that they're already running does an amazing job at that, and I don't even know if they're predicting Munich Esports as well as they are.
Yeah, the pulled pork composition, user. Very interesting to see indeed. It feels like we're back to stage 3 of 2020 or stage 4 of 2020, something like that, or stage 4 of 2019. That's what I meant to say. I said 2020 too many times. As Trust Me starts things up in the pick onto Nut, but the position of Love almost going out and about there thanks to Faith on that far. But Munich opening things up yet again to their favor to start things off.
I like this.
That's just what the composition works best with. Eurospar, I think they just know that they're going to be having increasing issues if they stick on to the Orisa. I can understand going over to the Wrecking Ball, but you're still walking into the Dragon's Den, and just as GCB is showing you, one small mistake, one misstep, you're going to get punished.
Yeah, they do take out Love, however, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, maybe just as I say that, both the Soldier and the Mercy are gone now from Munich Esports, but the separation that we're seeing from Eurospar at the moment is just not looking good for them. And then there's just the focusing beam coming out from Trust Me and Alex are there, and they're able to win these fights off after losing 2 pit players.
They're having a big problem when it comes down to working as a unit and looking to dive on a single target. I mean, you have the Genji, so in the Widowmaker, so you're being able to take a lot of space and you have a good amount of mobility, but I think Munich Esports, they're doing an amazing job of halting anybody from helping out Pure Irish. That was scary. That was just barely missed. Oh, I felt that on my hair.
Yeah, well, they're going to be trying to dive up to the Soldier, but JCB is down, and there goes Love looking for the picks, but they do get caught out by Drunk on that Roadhog, sorry. But still, Munich Esports are looking good. They've got all these picks necessary. The copied Roadhog is there for the side of Munich to continue pushing this forward. And now Trust Me getting out of that copy, still pumping in so much damage, getting that focusing beam kill on the JCB. Alex as well, getting the last kill onto Nut as Munich Esports continue to hold on first point.
They're doing an amazing job. They just work as a team. I mean, trust me, that's just a bit of a problem of a little bit of moving out too far. Almost had Waldo, though. I'll give you that benefit of the doubt. The bigger problem comes is that Munich Esports, they're using their ultimates solely to get these single kills, which is helping them win out these fights more often than not. While Eurospar, they're saving up these ultimates for different reasons.
Yeah, Love has taken down Waldo there, looking for another pick. Trying to take out, but a nice hook comes through, but a nice deep matrix. Gonna be saving them for the time being. That does go down in the end anyway, but still, it's not going to matter. They do lose Love, but they've got all these picks necessary to keep winning this fight out, and it's down to 30 seconds here, user.
Look, now Munich Esports, they're going on a complete switch here when it comes down to Love's DPS hero, the Sombra. They just want to slow them down now. They want to be as annoying as possible and look for these hacks. I've got to say, that's a big strategy, and it's a bold one, having no EMP or setup. But still, Munich Esports, they thrive off of this. This blade with the sound barrier, this could be a difference between a point capture or a full hold. Will Eurospar allow it to happen to themselves, though?
Well, they've got this hack on a Drunk, and Drunk is already down. They need to find something. They've gotten 3 picks. They do have the touch damage as well. The minefields are on point from Exo there, as well as that sound barrier keeping people up and healthy as the DMAC coming through onto Alex, looking to keep going. Is this side of Munich, they want to keep this defensive hold in their favor. The stock comes through, takes down Nut. That is huge. They're going to give up a tick, but in the long run, it's looking good for Munich Esports. They've got people back. The sound barrier from Watery is huge, and that is going to be enough for the side of Munich to come back and complete the full hold on first point.
That was incredibly close, and you had to sacrifice the tick. If you had stayed on that point for any longer, Wrecking Ball could have died, and that was a big worry. Munich Esports, once again, knowing when they want to go in, knowing when they want to stay out. Eurospar were being able to touch that point, and they were so panicky, I want to say. I think that's the word, panicky, onto quickly kill people that they couldn't focus down a single person, and Munich Esports were able to get away with a lot, especially when it comes down to Drunk's charges. A little bit too open when using them. You've got to play a little more careful. I mean, you guarantee to pick with it, yes, but Munich Esports have a lot of high mobility, and they have a lot of uses to shut it down. This has to be a full hold when it comes down to Eurospar. A single tick is what causes it, and that could be very bad, because, I mean, look at Munich Esports. They're looking at the Bastion, they're looking at the Symmetra, they're putting on their swim goggles, and they are ready to dive into the ocean. They are ready to just play against you with whatever you want to run. I think Eurospar, they have one good solid chance to see if they can hold this, and this is the first engagement. If they can't, it's obviously going to be over. But if they're able to build up the first fight and get those ultimates, they've got this. It'll be a steamroll. That's how I see it, and that's how I'm hoping.
I mean, we'll see how it goes, and we'll see this positioning. They're not positioned to take away this teleport to the spawn, but they've got this dive in as trying to take things out, but Faith is already gone thanks to Trust Me's sentry turrets, and this should be all but over as it ticks down as Munich Esports are your OWEX Grand Finals champions.
In the end, it only went down to one fight that mattered, and it seems that Munich Esports, I can't believe that they have gone this entire Overwatch European expansive season without a single map loss. That is incredible, to say the least. There were so many players that were talented beyond the lead, and yet they still shine above and beyond. Munich Esports, they're going to be your champions, and well-deserving a 4-0. That's hard to do.
Yeah, it was very difficult indeed, and it's off the back of just that incredible teamwork that we saw throughout this entire series. We saw it time and time again. Alex peeling for his DPS, peeling for his supports, and then just a pop-off coming through from the TPS, and then the supports were just what you needed them to be. They had those some of those flashy moments, but they were rock solid. They didn't, except for a couple of times from Watery getting a little bit over aggressive, and it didn't come out to bite them in the butt in the end. Munich Esports is just a very well-rounded team, and a very good team at that.
Yeah, but I mean, Eurospar, they gave it all they could, and I definitely feel that they shined a lot. We had a lot of great moments. So one of the last comparisons you'll be able to see, we're going to be giving some love over to the flex supports, the Ana players who are able to consistently do their best and shine above it all. I mean, but Crook is not only able to just keep the team alive, and I mean, these heal stats are very comparably, and everything is similarly close. It's just the fact that Crook is able to get a bit more when it comes down to the defensive. So you're seeing how synergized he is when it comes down to the rest of the team. Sometimes, when we look at Zenyatta's, we're looking at damage. We're looking to see how much you can help your team. When we're looking at Brig, we're looking at how many kills are you getting plus with healing. But I think when it comes down to Ana of all heroes, defensive assists is always that stat that I'm paying attention to, and Crook did an amazing job throughout it.
Yeah, definitely, and not even to mention that there was 1,000 more damage done. I mean, it's not that much more, but in the end, it helped them whittle down some of their opponents to get those kills that led to that full hold on Hanamura. And it was just a really good game all around from Munich Esports. We could go on and on about what they did right and what they and how well they did it rightly, how well they did it. But I mean, we've got things to do. We've got to wrap up the stream. But before we do that, user, who's your MVP of this match?
My MVP of this match. Ooh, that's a hard one. That is a hard one.
That's why I asked you.
yeah, that's definitely a hard one. So I think there's a case for very much everyone, especially Love. Love was a name that we were saying a lot of the times, but that's because of flashy plays. If anyone, I think you give it to the tank line.
Yeah,
both of them.
I'm definitely there with you. I'm gonna give it to Alex. Just like the things I was saying, not only getting those pop off, getting those picks that they needed, but peeling for their supports, especially on the diva, is a huge thing to do for. Not even just peeling for the supports, peeling for their DPS. We saw it multiple times when we were looking into the game. Alex was there with the defensive matrix, keeping people alive, and that's a huge thing for your off tank to do. And that's why I'm going to give it to Alex to round things off for this OWEX Grand Finals.
Honestly, I gotta say, definitely will give you that lot of love. So, but the question goes is, what's next for Overwatch EX or Overwatch European Expansive? Just to hit you with the name drop. Well, a lot of things I definitely would have to say. A bunch of content's going to be coming out throughout the weeks. We've got recaps, videos talking more about the teams, and, well, you'll be able to get a kind of deeper perspective of how things went, especially behind the scenes, see how it's run, and how you could possibly get involved the next time around. And honestly, Joker, I'm very excited to be able to, talk about it, release it, and be able to show off. And either way, Munich Esports, they're definitely a team that I think when they get a piece of content dropped on them, everybody's gonna have to watch it. We gotta see what is their inside plan. And if you're interested in something similar to that, well, we do have over at Elo Hell, get good. Its season is starting up. It's getting prepared. So there is an audience. If you want to be able to support that, go run over. I highly recommend it. It's very similar to Overwatch EX, but more regional to the NA players, to the EU, to the KRs, anything that you want. It's going to be open with many different divisions. So I think that's going to be a shining point. At least Elo Hell is not done when it comes down to showing the talent that is still within the Overwatch community.
Yeah, definitely. And before we sign things off, we do have a little bit of a thank you section, a bit of a credit scene for that. So we're going to get a shout out to people that were behind the scenes. I mean, this can't be done without an entire production staff behind us. Nano, they're going to be our producer for today, as well as Sinza, going to be doing our observing, Yari or Luto doing our stats. And then that's not to mention everyone else that was working throughout this series, but it's just working with us right now.
Yeah, I gotta say it was an honor to be your caster for this last match, but I'll make sure, no matter what, you give love to everybody helping this out. We may be the ones presenting it to you, but we would look like clowns with just MS Paint scrapboard if it wasn't for them. True. Either way, we thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time.
Peace.